What you know about me? Seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? I done it all, just want it all. Oh, what you know about me? I seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? Oh, what you know about me? Oh, what you know about me?
Hey, welcome back to another episode of More Than the Title. I'm your host as usual, Jarrett Thomas, Chief Revenue Officer at Outside the Box Digital. And you know I got my brother, my brethren, your favorite CEO, Chadeo. What's good, baby?
Ooh, and you got it. You pointed to the right direction.
Episode 101.
Right there.
Episode 101. You shitting me?
Hard right now. And I'm
ready.
gonna just let you know right off the back, ladies and gentlemen, I do have on merch today. You know, because my cousin like to get on me a lot of time that I don't be having on the merch. So I am represented with the More Than the Title merch today. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love it. You know what? Somebody's probably thinking like, oh shit, that's pretty fly. Guess what? You can buy some right now on the intro. You can buy your More Than the Title, your title shirts. You can buy a mug. You can buy a hoodie. Look at that. The bet on yourself. Look at the lady. That could be for March, spring. It could be Mother's Day, your grandmama, your mama. Anybody.
She got a nice crop top on too. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm saying because we all More Than the Titles, and we'll leave that up in 3, 2, and let's get it rocking,
you
y'all.
know what it is for me, man. I'm glad to be here. You know, we want to thank all our fans once again for supporting us. We got a lot of new subscribers. A lot of new subscribers this morning, man. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Nice.
Understand we had a amazing business meeting right before this show. And it's for you guys. I'm telling you right now, everything that we are discussing within that meeting is for the culture. It's not for us directly. It's for us to give back to the community because without y'all, there is no us.
Message.
Oh man, also man, shout out to, you already know, our distribution partners, the Live Podcast Network, the first women-owned, black-owned podcast network in the world. You know we rocking with them. If you want more content from black content creators like More Than the Title, make sure y'all download the app, support your favorite creators. There's a lot of dope shows, strictly black content creators, y'all. We got to support our own. So shout out to Angel and the entire team that's working tirelessly over there to make sure shows like More Than the Title get the looks that we deserve. You heard?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, you already know. Let's get it.
Let's start the show.
Get it popping. This queen right here. This is first of all, we got 4 episodes this week, y'all, and this has been an amazing Women's Month. We've had some amazing queens on with amazing, incredible stories. Shout out to Erica Ford for being our 100th episode guest. It was a really dope episode. But this queen right here is an award-winning, result-oriented sales professional with consistent sales growth and very competitive territories. She's built one of the company's leading sales territories, which resulted in 4 prestigious President Clubs Awards, Circle of Excellence Sales Awards for consistently exceeding company sales and forecasts. She's also the co-founder, co-owner, and investor in the brand for over 10 years. Her entrepreneurial spirit has led her to evolve even more to connect things that she's extremely passionate about, especially since becoming a mother of 2 twin girls. She also helped create Self-Love Day in New York City and is also the host of the podcast, I'm Proud of You Sis. Let's introduce this queen, Miss Danni Benson.
Danni.
Yo, I am so happy to be part of this. You guys are super. You guys are amazing. I'm so proud of both of you guys. I'm so proud of you, bros.
Appreciate you, queen. Real
I'm so proud of you, bros, man. I'm just so proud of just us, like being entrepreneurs and knowing that we could pass that along to our children. That it's great to have a 9 to 5, but it's also great to follow your dreams and your purpose too. So I'm
sorry. Well, we said she got the baby.
The screaming baby.
Danni, we're not going to talk about this espresso cup.
I'm sorry. It says grateful. I'm grateful, guys. I'm grateful.
It's a macchiato.
I'm grateful to be on your show. I'm grateful.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is for you guys. I'm grateful to be on your show. Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, she brought up the fact that it's okay to be a worker, but be clear, a lot of workers is not drinking out those little ass macchiato espresso cups. That's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
That's self-love.
She's grateful that she was a worker, but she's also grateful that she's an owner and she's a founder. So that's why the piggies up with the macchiato espresso cup.
I am grateful. Let's keep it positive, guys. Grateful.
So let's segue into that. Let's since we said grateful, what are some of the things that you're grateful in your life? Let's start off with that.
Well, I know that it might sound crazy, but I'm grateful that I woke up today because we don't know. Everyone has we know when we're born, but we don't know when we're going to expire. So I am grateful to just being up to date, to be with you guys and to share love and gems and just experiences. I'm grateful, of course, for my friends, my family, my loved ones, especially my babies. I pour so much into them because when I'm gone, I want them to continue the legacy. So I feel like babies are your little, you know how babies are. Like you can make them, you pour into them, right? You think about the Tiger Woods, even the Beyonces, you think about the Michael Jordans, the LeBron James, and there's so countless people that we might not know about, but families pour into them so they could hopefully pray for their success in the future. So for everyone out there who have kids, I tell you, please pour into them because they need your love, they need your belief, your support, and all of that so they could be the greatest person they can be. So
be screaming baby, and if they don't know,
I do it for the children.
We do it for the children.
That's what we do.
Yes, because you guys have babies too, and I know you pour into
I got
your
no
kids.
babies. Oh.
Well, they'll always be your babies.
I ain't got no babies.
No, I mean they're grown adults, but they'll always be your babies.
I got grown, eat up all the food. Eat up all the food, drink up all the juice, motherfuckers. I ain't got no fucking baby. Right.
No, you know what? I don't miss the baby stage either because it was tough.
I kind of like that little 3 to 4s where they was just talking a little bit. Now, my conversation with Case be crazy. He giving me homework and shit.
I have
crazy
twins.
Shit. Yeah.
So I didn't get relief till like 7.5.
Yeah.
Now they're about to be 10. Like twins, like people be like, "Oh, I want twins." I'd be like, "You really want twins?" I don't know. It's basically having double of what it is to have one child at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to have twins, but they're a blessing.
But people say, just real quick on twins, you know why a lot of women like to have twins? Because you can kind of have multiple kids one time, pregnant one time, get it done, get the body back in shape.
I'm one and done.
One and done. Right? Because a lot of complaints from women is not having the children, it's what the children do to the woman's body, right? Because men, technically, we might get the dad bod after, but it doesn't affect our bodies as massively as it affects a woman's body. So carrying a child for 9 months and gaining weight, it's a lot. It's a lot, right? So a lot of women be like, if I can do the multiple and one and done and be like, I'm done, I got 2, I'm happy with it. You know what I mean?
My doctor gave me advice. My doctor said to me, my personal doctor said, you only really eat for one.
Okay.
The whole notion of women eating for 2, he was like, no, the baby don't need that much food.
Okay.
So when I had my twins, I fortunately took his advice. So I didn't gain that much weight because I was only eating for them. I wasn't really eating for me because I had the nutrients. They just needed a little bit of food. Like the doctor thinks like, you don't need the Big Mac. Like you don't need the kids don't need all that stuff. They just need a little bit of food just to build their, organs, their brains and stuff like that. So I took that advice. So I didn't really gain that much weight. I gained like 30 pounds. I was very...
Hold on, Dan.
I only gained 30.
I'm out.
What the hell? Only 30.
He said only 30? 30's like 2.5 sizes, almost 3.
No, but maybe I had 2 babies in me though.
I mean, that is true.
It's 10 and 9 and 9 is 18.
Right.
So let's subtract that from 30. So I gained like 15 pounds.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. But my body has never been the same though.
But let me ask you this.
Never been the same.
If you only eat for one, where do the cravings come from? Where the fuck do the pickles and peanut butter? Because clearly the baby don't know what fucking pickles and peanut butter taste.
No, but you know what? My craving was watermelon.
Huh?
Watermelon.
That was your craving? Watermelon?
And one of my ex-VPs, one time we went to a meeting, I was pregnant, and he was like, yo, stop with the watermelon, because they're going to really think.
Yeah, I won't eat watermelon because of the stereotype. I just refuse to. The chicken I couldn't give up. Chicken, you got to relax.
That look like now. I was like, yo, I have babies in my belly. What are you talking about? He was like, it was a bad look. You're going too much to the count. Because there was like a meeting and they had a bunch of watermelon and I kept standing up, getting the watermelon. He was like, yo, cut it out with the. I was like, yo, what are you talking about?
Stereotype. Like, white people like, I knew it. Just look at her. Just look at her. I knew it.
I ain't gonna lie, I love watermelon, and I
Okay.
love watermelon so much. I don't even buy watermelon from the supermarket. I wait till the 18-wheeler trucks come out, the hood watermelon.
Yo.
If I buy watermelon, it gotta be out the back of an 18-wheeler or a truck or somebody on the street. I'm not buying watermelon from the supermarket. It's not authentic.
Yo,
Yeah,
I support small business. Every time I see them at the red light, I pull over.
Exactly.
Even though they want to like double charge you for the watermelon.
Be like that.
But I know it's the real watermelon. It's not manufactured in the farm. Like, you know what I mean? Like with the hormones and stuff. It's like the real old country watermelon.
Absolutely.
So,
and it tastes different, believe it or not.
No, it does.
At least in my mind it does. I don't know, Jared. What you think?
I don't like watermelon. I'm gonna stay I will not.
What?
Wait. You don't like it because you don't like the flavor of it, or you just don't like it because
I just don't like both. I don't like anything associated with watermelon. I hate the taste. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I never eat watermelon.
Really?
Unless you put some liquor in it. When we went up top and we put the liquor in the yellow watermelon, that was cool.
Wait, where are you from if you like watermelon?
You said what happened?
Where are you from?
From the Bronx.
From the Bronx.
And you never had watermelon growing up as a kid?
Mac and cheese or potato salad. I like potato salad. I won't eat mac and cheese, but I eat pizza.
Wait. You don't like potato salad either?
None of that shit. I don't know. My Thanksgiving plate be fucking turkey, roast beef, and yams and collards. No mac and cheese, no stuffing, none of that shit.
Danny, look, this is my family, like family, and we together. We grew. Let me tell you something. I did not. You learn something new every day.
I'm the pickiest eater ever.
The crazy shit about it is me and him is always some fucking place eating, and I've never noticed how picky he was because we eat all the fucking time. Every time we go somewhere, we out ordering food, so I never really noticed that.
I eat the same shit. We go anywhere, bro.
Yo, he's simple.
Hold on. We was in Florida, and you definitely was about to get them gator bites.
Oh, gator for sure.
Oh, see, that's what I'm. See,
that's the main shit. I'll try gator.
Alligator?
Oh hell yeah! I ate ostrich before, all types of shit.
That's what I'm saying, Danny. So how you don't like water? I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yo, like, tell me how the alligator tastes. Is it crunchy?
Like a chewier chicken.
Like chicken.
Oh, so everything probably tastes like chicken.
No, it's really good with a chipotle, with a nice little chipotle sauce or something like that.
No, but that's not true though. Everything does not taste like chicken.
Okay,
There's
I know.
things that have distinct flavoring. You ever had a bison burger? Bison?
No, I never had a bison burger.
Dude, but it's spicy. I love it. Don't taste like chicken.
So what is a bison burger?
It's bison ground up into a hamburger.
Oh.
Like you
hate it.
It almost looked like a buffalo. She got the horns and shit. Bison.
You don't find that in Dakota. I'm trying to tell you.
Where you buying a bison burger?
From Walmart. They got them shits.
Yeah, I used to get them. You found them in Walmart?
Hell yeah, they got the bison patties.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta go buy some of those.
Well, first of all, I don't know if I would buy them at Walmart. No offense to Walmart, but something like that, I would go to like a meat place. I want to go to like an actual place where they just specialize in meat.
We love it, and YouTube loves that.
We do it because she said it the first time. Then when she said it the second time, I'm
Pause.
There's no way I'm repeating that, Danny.
That was very.
No way we're repeating that. That was nasty.
Nah, that would be very Diddy.
That was very nasty.
Yo, stop!
Yo,
no way we're repeating that.
Stop!
Shout out to all the Revolt employees. It's got to be so awkward today. You can't talk about the Knicks and none of that shit.
When you say something like that, you got to say no Diddy now.
No Diddy.
Yo,
I don't want Diddy to come after me.
You gotta say no Diddy.
He won't come.
I come in peace. I don't want Diddy to come after me. Like, look, whatever's going on with Diddy, honestly, it's none of my business.
Oh man, no, it's a fact. But I'm just saying that was a crazy statement. We can't repeat that live. Some things we can't repeat.
It was the tone.
Okay.
It was the tone. But YouTube gonna love it. YouTube loves shit like that. Shout out to YouTube.
Get them going.
Get them going.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's talk about mental health.
No, let's start early.
Because we want to show for first time listeners, right. We rocking right now, but for everybody listening, is to give the information to tell the people who you are, who is the person behind the title, what have you done, what's inspired you to become the person that you are today. So if you want to, let's start from the top, like where you're from, what are some early inspirations, upbringing, things like that, and then we'll go right to business.
Build the foundation first, Danny.
Okay, you're right, because without a tough foundation, the whole house, breaks down.
Message.
I'm letting people know right now. Foundation matters, and foundation matters. It will come back to haunt you. So don't do shortcuts, because you'll get there, and all of a sudden, look at Diddy, shortcuts. Now the whole empire goes down.
Hold on, time out. You just said you ain't want to throw Diddy under the bus. You ain't want to say no.
But I'm just giving an example for the people out there, like why shortcuts don't really work at the end.
Okay. I'll go.
You know
what
I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you do it right, if you do it right the first time and you're building, then you don't have to worry about looking behind your back all the time.
All right.
But doing it right requires doing the work. That's the point. A lot of people don't want to do. They don't want to do the work, y'all. It's okay. Do the work. Do
the work, and it takes 10 years, honestly, to build a business. Like everyone thinks like everyone has this overnight success. It's not overnight. You just notice them just now. But they've been building their business for at least 10 years. And because you're noticing them now and you think they're overnight success, you'll talk to anybody who they say is an overnight success. But like, yo, I've been grinding for like 10 years, 20 years. So you got to let the kids know out there, like there's no shortcuts. You know what I mean? Like you got to put the work in. It's discipline, consistency. It's getting up every single day. It's believing in yourself, and not letting the haters. I'm the queen of pivot. Someone hates on me. I used to play basketball in high school. I pivot because I'm not going to let that hate stop me for where I need to go.
Message.
There's 6 billion people in the world. I tell people that all the time. There's 6 billion people in the world. You'll get all the no's, cool, but you'll find your yeses. You need to understand that. The people who are saying no one day will be kissing your ass in the future. They always kiss your ass. They never believe in you when you start. But when you start making it, all of a sudden they're like, whoa, and they're all jumping in the bandwagon, but you always have a good memory. You know what I mean? You give them grace, but you know that they didn't believe in you. That's all. You know what I'm saying? So my beginnings, I'm Haitian American. Okay. I have to say that. I want to pray for Haiti. Haiti was the first independent Black country in the West Hemisphere. I know everyone, when I was growing up, had all the Haitian jokes and stuff like that. But honestly, we're really great workers. What happened was, because we were the first independent Black country in the Western Hemisphere, we had to pay France till today for our freedom. Yeah. So that's why our country is still poor, is still in chaos, because imagine paying your oppressor all the money that you make year round for your freedom.
Message.
It's crazy to me. It should be stopped.
Add into the fact that not only did you kick France's ass, but Haiti was actually one of the wealthiest. Haiti wasn't poor initially. Haiti was one of the absolute wealthiest countries also. So let's put that out there.
And Haiti, which Black Americans here, won't understand, we help support your freedoms here in America. Like Haiti, Haitians came to America and helped the Black Americans here help secure their freedom, because we knew how to do it. And we wanted to make sure that all Black countries were free. So whoever needed our support, we were there. So they don't say that in the history books. That's why I kind of hate American history in school, because it's his story, meaning that they get to delete and add. That's why I tell people, do your research on your own, and not to say that history in school, doesn't matter. But I tell my kids all the time, the way you get information is through reading. That's how you get your knowledge. Don't believe the history books, because just like right now, Governor DeSantis is trying to delete slavery because, we don't want to feel bad, but you actually did it. So learn from your history, so it won't be repeated again. This is not about emotions, because you wasn't feeling some type of way when you guys were lynching people. You wasn't feeling some type of way when people were doing things for free. Black Americans were doing things for free and not getting paid. So now why, when it's history in the present day, you don't want all Americans to know we're not a perfect society. We're not. We are judging other countries, and we're trying to delete all the wrongs we did to make us look like we are holy thou, and we're not. We're not holy thou. We're a work in progress. But if white kids feel bad about what that has happened in the past, they should feel bad. They should feel bad. They should feel bad, because this is why present day America is the way it is. You know, I love the Jews, but they always say, never forget. So why is it with slavery we have to forget? Why is it with slavery we have to move on? I mean, even with 9/11, they say we'll never forget. So why is it that you tell people in this country that get over it, move on? No, it's part of their history. It's part of their existence. It's why the country is how it is today. And until you address the systematic racism, which does exist, personally, it's happened to me. I see it, but I know how to pivot around it, because I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm not going to let it stop me.
Message
out there right now, learn how to pivot. Learn how to pivot. You know it exists. It's like playing basketball. You see them coming for you. You keep dribbling that ball, you pivot, and you take your jump shot. Don't ever let anyone tell you you're not good enough. Don't everyone tell you don't belong here. Don't do it, because it's all a mind fuck. They want to fuck you up so you don't believe, and you end up being somewhere you don't want to be because someone told you you couldn't do it. Always believe in you. Always believe in you. That's all I gotta say to kids. Always believe in you. And adults too. And adults. And I want to say one thing. The educational system, in my personal experience, has failed a lot of children, because I meet a lot of grown adults that don't know how to read in America. And I'm like, you went to school in America, you don't know how to read? And I'm realizing that a lot of teachers just pass them along.
Oh, yeah, definitely happens. Social promotion.
Yep.
Happens all the time.
They pass them along. So when you see those kids in the street, in front of the store, and you're like, yo, they ain't doing nothing with their life. You know why sometimes I realize maybe they don't know how to read an application. Guess a lot of these kids don't know how to really read. So therefore, instead of putting like judgments on them, be a mentor to them. Pull them aside and say, look, I'm X, Y, and Z. I can be your mentor. I can show you another way. And that's what we need from our community, to reach out to those kids one by one and let them know, like, yo, I've made it, but I'm ready to pull you in so you can make it too. Instead of like judging them, because they're in the street for a reason. It's not really by choice. Sometimes it's survival sometimes, because of the way the system is set up, right? But it's our responsible to be inclusive to all and not just have our little circle and help our little circle. If we're going to help our race win, then we have to be inclusive to everyone, and not just our friends, our family, or the ones that can hook us up, or the ones that can lift us higher. We need to pull everybody up, because that's what other communities do. They pull everybody up, and they don't leave no one behind. And
requires the work. And once again, it requires, it's easier said than done when it requires the work. A lot of people talk the talk, don't walk the walk. Like, we were just talking about that shit the other day as far as gatekeeping. We talk about it every episode. You know what I mean? People just doing, like, we just had a conversation, like he said, with our business of how to progress the Black culture as a whole. How do we present opportunities? My first mentor in business wasn't Black. I'll tell you that. And that's real.
Let me tell you something. Like, the people who have helped me haven't all been, from African American or Caribbean American. It's been other people from other races.
Yeah.
That's why I judge people as an individual basis and not as a whole. Because one thing about other races is, as I see in their communities, they don't really gatekeep. They don't have to. What's wrong with our community, I feel like we don't pass a baton, right? We expect everyone to start at the starting line. How are we going to get far if every single person has to start at the starting line? We have to be able to pass a baton in the middle. So wherever I'm at, I'm going to pass the baton to you so we can go even further. We keep all starting in the starting line. How are we going to win? How are we going to win? Because other races pass the baton. They pass the baton. Other races be like, okay, you know, sometimes I'll ask for connect. They're like, oh, what you done? And I'm like, and I understand it's a referral thing and you don't want someone to burn your name. But if you see what I come with, if you see my qualifications, I'm not begging for anything. As a race of people, some rooms I don't get into that you get into. But you know what? You know, you pass me that number because we all win together. You know, like they say, one person can run faster alone, or as a group, we get there further together, right? We have to start thinking of a group mentality as a race, as opposed to just thinking about each of ourselves. Because I'm getting there, but what about my people in the back? Are we closing the door for them? Are we opening up the doors for them so they could also join in the race? So I want our people to start. I know we're traumatized. I know we've been through slavery. I know being, you know, African American, Black in America, you know, we can't hide our color. We can't pass. You know, I went to a meeting yesterday, and this Spanish girl, which I didn't know she was Spanish, she said, like, look, I'm lucky, like I'm light skinned because I could pass. And I said, whoa, did everyone hear? Like so I thought she was a white woman, and she was like, no, I'm Spanish, but because of my skin color, I could pass and I could get into the rooms.
Message.
We don't get to hide where we come from because it's on us, right? So if we're not helping each other, who's gonna help us win? It starts from within. It starts with us. We have to help each other to get into those rooms, right? So if you're getting into those rooms, start pulling other people into those rooms, because your purpose is your purpose. What's meant to be will be. It doesn't. I know, like, we have this mentality that it's only gonna be one. I have the mentality that it's gonna be many. It's gonna be many. As soon as we have that mentality, it's gonna be many. Then many of us are getting other opportunities, which brings many of us into those opportunities. But if we're gonna say it's only gonna be one, then it's only gonna be one, because we're manifesting it. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So I want the doors open to many. It's time for us to all work together. And I know it's corny. I know we always say it, but time is running out for us. It's really running out for us. Because I read yesterday, and it was like in a panel that they were saying, like, capital for, you know, self-employed entrepreneurs in the Black space is going down. Absolutely. Significantly. It's going down. So it shouldn't be just one group. It shouldn't, you know, what I respect about people is we're like, me and you, we're trying. You know, we can't control other people, but I'm gonna do my part to make sure that I can have as many as people win. And that's what I want to do.
Let me stop you right there, because you covered a lot, right? Covered a lot. Mm-hmm. Number one, what I don't want us to do is, and we had this conversation before, right? Everybody has a different upbringing. I'm not angry at that. What I don't want us to do, I personally was not in a generation of slavery. I can't relate to that directly. Do you understand? Now, my grandmother grew up in segregation and stuff, but she even wasn't in slavery. What I don't want us to do is try to relate to something that our ancestors went through and try to act like we understand what they went through or what they sacrificed for us to even be able to have this type of a conversation. I don't want us to do that. It is easier said than done to kind of like say, yeah, you went through that, but let's get past it. When you there go the other podcast, no,
hated it.
You know what? That was God interrupting you. You want to know why?
Wait, hold on.
Trauma is passed on through DNA.
But listen, but hear me out.
Trauma is passed on through DNA.
Hear me out. Trauma can be passed on through DNA. I'm not saying you're wrong, but what I'm saying is 2 things can always be right. So can 3 things, and so can 4 things. That's why this is called more than a title, because you can be a CEO and a family person and a lot, right? Mm-hmm. So it always can be multiple things, right? What I'm saying is very direct, right? if you've never experienced something yourself. Like I can't relate to you about being pregnant. Yes, I'm a father, but I can't relate to you as a woman about being pregnant, carrying a baby, da. So it would be easy, right? Don't men a lot of times dismiss what women go through? Oh, you pregnant? Oh, it don't hurt that bad. You know why? Because we've never experienced it. We've never experienced. So as human beings, the way you learn, the word life, learned intelligence from experience, is your five senses. You take in information, and that's how you develop and you have an understanding of knowledge. So what I don't want us to do is try to like desaturate what we went through as a people and make it seem like because now it's been a little further past and we felt like we've made progression, that what they went through is still not significant.
Oh, of course it's significant.
Okay. So with that, hold on.
Significant.
So with that being said, right? With that being said, you have to understand that the bottom line is this is not our country. Just start at the foundation of the root of what it is. It's not our country. Mm-hmm. Laws and the rules were not written for us. You understand what I'm saying? And we were brought here involuntarily. That is a hell of a, you're talking about a start line. If they're starting at the start line, we're not even in the fucking race at this point. You know, we don't even know it's a race at this point, right? So we have a lot of catching up to do to even think about getting to the start line. And that's where the conversation has to start. And part of the ways that we can get caught up and start at the start line is if we start to get what is due to us because of what you put our ancestors through, so that we can create the opportunities to be able to have a start at the start line. I can't give somebody a start at the start line when we're not at the start line. We are behind the start line. And that's why we have to work twice as hard.
Well, first of all, it's your definition of what is a start line.
Right.
What is your start line? Because my start line and your start line might be completely different. What is your start line?
Absolutely depends on whatever resources.
Right. So culturally, we're talking culturally here. This is not my personal start line. Yeah. Culturally, Black and brown people start with less resources, less education, and a less support system than our counterpart ethnicities. That's the bottom line. That means we're behind the start line. That means from birth, where you start life, when you come into this world, you're already behind the power curve because society's already designed to have you be behind the power curve.
That's a fact.
That's message.
Fact though.
So in the same educational system that we're in right now, you're saying when our kids go to school, they're still behind?
Absolutely. From the beginning. Right off the back, look, let me ask you this question, right? Mm-hmm. You have children, right? Mm-hmm. Watch this. We're not in a true digital age, right? We're not in a true digital age, which means that penmanship writing is still important, right? Because everything's not digital.
Yeah, cursive writing, yes.
Thank you. Did you know that a lot of people still get paid in paper checks, right? Physical checks, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you know that, I don't know, whatever it is, 75, 80%, 90% of schools don't even teach script cursive handwriting.
They don't teach cursive.
Right off the back, before we even talk about social handwriting, like when I was in kindergarten, it was 2 alphabets on the board. Print, and above it was cursive. We started learning that in kindergarten. Mm-hmm. Who was the smart PhD motherfucker, double masters, whoever the fuck you was, smart guy that said, oh, let's take out cursive handwriting out of the curriculum to stop teaching our kids how to sign checks? If you take a check to the bank and on the back of it, it says endorse here, which means a signature, and you print your name, the bank can legally turn that down and say that's not a legal endorsement. We will not cash that check. So after you've made the money, after the government has already taken their money, you didn't pay them, they took their money, you still could possibly not get access to the rest of your funds because you don't know how to sign your name. You actually have to get a legal illiteracy card that says you're illiterate legally to put an X on it and for the bank to accept it. So when we're talking about the educational system, do we run the educational system? Absolutely not. So what smart guy
but I have to say this, where my kids go to school at, they learn cursive.
Right.
My kids know how to sign their name. Like they know how to do their name cursive.
I can guarantee you your kid's school is not in the percentage of urban America that everybody else kids go to.
That's a fact though.
But you know why they're not doing cursive no more, because everyone is using their cell phones and computers.
You missed it.
And they have DocuSign.
You missed it. You absolutely.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm telling you that what the other side is. You're not using it as much.
Listen to me. How do you stop? I don't care. Let me explain something. And this is the problem.
Okay.
Until you're not using it at all. I don't care. What do you mean as much? I can say to you, there's 50 million checks that go out every single week. 50 million. We're not using it as much. We send out 50 million checks a week. What do you mean not using it as much? It is still being used in major industries to this day. You do not have to have direct deposit. How many immigrants are here that don't have bank accounts, that don't have legal social security numbers? Then how do you think they get paid? Through a physical check. So don't tell me that we're not using it a lot. We're absolutely using it. How do you stop teaching something when it is still prominent in today's society? That's not an accident. You deliberately took it out the educational curriculum to once again put us at a disadvantage to the people that cannot afford a private education.
Well, you know what? I feel like parents are the CEO also. You could teach your kids also how to do scriptive.
Great.
I teach my kids all sorts of things that is not taught in the school. I already know the school's not teaching my kids everything, but as a parent, the school is a supplement.
Where did you learn script? Where did you learn to write cursive handwriting?
I learned cursive in school.
Thank you. So now our generation is past. We got 3 generations behind us that a lot of these kids have had kids. So if they're not learning it, how can you teach something you never learned?
But I know it. You know it. So you're saying that? Are you saying the generations after me, if they don't know it, how they're going to teach culture.
It? Correct. We are talking about not us personally. We are talking about the culture in general.
YouTube?
Huh?
YouTube?
Okay.
Come on now. You could teach us. You could teach yourself anything.
Hold on. Again, I'm not saying that.
Most of us have cell phones, and if you want to learn something,
but again,
Google, can you tell me? Right now, my kids are teaching themselves Spanish.
That's
They're
fine.
10. He's like, Mommy, we want the app.
Danny, you can't do that. Let me tell you why you can't do that. You've already said that your kids have the cheat code, and we love it. We love the cheat code.
What's the cheat code?
Having parents that are educated and financially able to give them a start at a different level than the common urban community.
But why is it got to be a cheat code? I worked hard to get here.
No, it's a good thing. We're working to get the cheat codes. It's not a negative connotation to that.
It's not a negative thing. It's a positive thing, but you can't. We're not going to do is straddle the fence.
Okay.
You've become successful. You've become educated. You're passing that down. We love that. But the percentage of how many people have made it to even the level that you were at 10 years ago is greatly minimized compared to the rest of the culture itself. When we have these conversations, we have to keep in mind the majority of the majority. So the majority of the culture is going through what you said. It is a social promotion system because it's not about, we don't want to leave you behind because socially it messes with your mind. No, they want to keep promoting you because they don't want to take the time to make sure you're educated, because the more stupid you are, the less of the higher job you aspire to as an adult. The more
there was a policy by the Bush administration called No Kid Left Behind.
I know I know where it came from.
So whether the kid learns or not, they're gonna just push them along because they feel that if they can't learn, they did their best, and they feel like, okay, we're gonna just pass them along, which is not serving our community at all.
Right, but again, it's not our country, and if you keep starting at the foundation and understanding, they don't care about servicing our community. They want us to be at the biggest disadvantage. If you go back to slavery, what is one of the number one things that would get you killed, not beat, not, putting the outhouse, killed? Learning how to try to read or write, education. So if you fast track it, it's the same exact thing. They're pushing you forward because they want us to be stupid. They want us to be dumb, and they want us to be ignorant, especially the men, not the women, the men, because the more ignorant we are, the more dumb shit we do, the more we get locked up, and we feed that system, which feeds them, not the women. It's mainly meant for us.
So if this is not, so what are we going to do about it? If we know what the system is,
yep,
what are we going to do about it?
You gotta just do what you can.
It's not a simple answer.
It's not
a simple answer. The simplest answer is to say, yes, the parents need to take more responsibility in educating their kids. But guess what? Again, we are talking about systematic racism. If the parent doesn't know, then they don't even know what to look at. They don't know their kid is not getting educated. If I don't know script, and I never was taught script, then a lot of times I might not even know what cursive handwriting is. I wouldn't even know to look for it. I wouldn't even know to look at the fact that they're not being taught that. This is what we're talking about, right? It's a systematic thing. Yeah, Jarrett.
No, I was gonna say also our level of success. It's subjective. Everybody's success level is subjective, right? You might speak to some parents, right? You'd be like, you know what? Success to me is going into a city job, working for 40 years, retiring, getting a pension, yada, yada. And that's still a great thing. But guess what? Somebody like myself is like, yo, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to do this. I'm going to bet it all. I'm going to leave corporate America. I'm going to do this because I want to have my grandkids set up for a system they think they're self-sustainable, that just keeps on generating money. They know what it is. They have the lessons passed down from that, right? So then how do you have that conversation when I'm trying to go over here and you're trying to go over there, right? Coming together. It's something that the dude said on the, I think on the Shay shit. I think it was Godfrey. He said, we're the only culture. We can't organize anything. We can't even organize crime. When you think about it, that's a powerful ass statement, right? Like if you think about there's a mob, there's all of that stuff, that we can't even get together on that type of level. Damn near not how we talk about a positive level, right? It's just us getting together.
But honestly, that's based on our traumas.
Absolutely.
We were set. That's why I say trauma goes from one generation to the other. Whether we're far removed from it or not, it still affects us every day because, you know, your parents, your great parents, your great parents is teaching each kid in the future based on the traumas that they learned. Because, you know, we don't come with parent manuals. Kids, you know, school don't teach us how to be parents. We're learning how to be parents from what we see and what we've been through. So the trauma is still in our bodies. The experiences are still in our bodies. And what we need to understand is there comes a time where we have to figure out how to heal, because the oppressor is not going to heal us. There has to be a time where we're going to have to take ownership of what happened in our past and try to figure out how we're going to heal each other, because the winner is not going to heal us. You know what I mean? The winner is not going to heal us. So if we're waiting for that, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, because this is survival of the fittest. America is based on capitalism. So capitalism is like, you gotta win. Like, I'm competing against you. That's what capitalism is. I am competing against you. So why would I help a nation of slaves heal when it might affect my bottom line?
Absolutely. Totally get that. But also the thing with the traumas too is like we all have trauma, but as a kid, you don't go into trauma. Your life is based on what the environment that your parents put you in, right? So you don't really wake up with traumas. Like, for instance, I didn't realize racism. I didn't experience racism. So maybe I was a teenager or maybe higher. But something that stood out in my mind when I'm 5 years old and my parents afforded to be able to put me in Catholic school, I'm looking up and I see a white Jesus.
Because I went to Catholic school too.
You know what I'm saying? So those, as a 5-year-old, you're thinking that.
I didn't.
See, but it's a completely different scenario.
Public school. But here's my thing. Again, I entirely despise straddling the fence. I understand you, Danny, but here's the thing. Danni Benson today, March 26th, the person that you are today is not just a person built on just the positive shit that you did.
No.
I'm proud of you. Hold on. I'm proud of you, sis. Love that. All that shit is dope, but that's only a piece of Danny. What helped Danny become Danny today is also the trauma. You cannot have only good in life. It must be some negative to help you find the balance so that you understand what good is when it comes to bad. If you don't have, you're supposed to pass down trauma. You're supposed to pass down and say, this is what we went through. Yes, it's not about forgive. Don't forget it. Don't let it take over you, but never forget how we started and where we, because of that. What are we talking about? You have to pass down trauma. If you stop passing down the trauma, that is how you forget your heritage. If you stop passing down the trauma, then you start forgiving all the atrocities. You stop asking for the reparations. You stop making it mandatory that they pay us back. And guess what happens eventually? They win entirely because you just gave up and be like, fuck it, we got to get past it. Let's sing Kumbaya and hold fucking hands. Negative. And that's what they want you to do. And that's why they're masculizing the black man. That's why they're pushing the LGBT community and all this homosexuality shit so much, to demasculize the black man, to make you less aggressive, to make you less angry, to make you more emotional and cuddly bear, so that when you fucking go through what you go through, you accept it instead of fighting back.
You gotta listen to him. You learn something.
We have to start educating ourselves.
Absolutely. So let's talk about it. Young Danny, Haitian American. So when you say Haitian American, I'm going to say that you're Haitian descent, but you were born in the United States. Yes.
Yes, I was
Okay.
born in the United States. My parents came here from Haiti.
Okay.
Born in the United States. When we first came here, my parents had 3 jobs.
Okay.
We were part of the welfare system at first. Because I remember the government cheese. I remember waiting online for food.
Let's talk about that. Go ahead.
And I was a child. I didn't understand it. I didn't know why we were waiting online, but that was our normal.
Okay.
Right. That's something that we did after church. We went
now stop right there. Stop right there. That is a life that me and Jarrett and most urban people can relate to in our generation, because that is exactly what 90% of urban America experienced. That right there. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm born and raised from I'm born and raised in Brooklyn.
Okay.
I'm from Canarsie, born and raised in Brooklyn. Went to public school, PS 119. Then my parents was like, I was getting bullied a lot. So my parents decided to put me in private school.
Okay.
St. Thomas Aquinas, shout out St. Thomas Aquinas on Flatlands and Kings Highway. Love that school, still have friends from that school. But I knew we were poor. And it was okay for us to be poor because my parents were happy. They were striving. They were never home.
Okay.
I was 7 years, back then it was okay. I don't know if it's okay now, but I was 7 years old, taking care of my sisters. They were 4 and 3.
Okay.
Well, my parents went to work and they used to put signs up, the usual signs, don't go to the fire. The Tupperware is in the refrigerator, pull it out and eat it cold, because we couldn't afford microwave back then. So I couldn't warm up the food, couldn't turn on the gas, and we didn't have a microwave. So we used to eat our food cold when we came home from school, and we saw our parents at nighttime.
Hold on. Wait, stop right. Wait, hold on. Time out. Your parents work. So this is an important, you cannot speed past a message like this. Your parents came here, and in order to try to provide some type of life, you said your parents worked 3 jobs. I'm assuming a piece, not collectively, right?
Yes.
Right. You are 7 years old, technically as a child, taking on an adult, not only an adult role, but an adult parenting role when you don't even understand how to be a child yet. 7 years old, taking care of your little sisters, 4 and 3, and you just said technically you were in the house by yourself as a 7-year-old, taking care of 2 other minors, a minor taking care of 2 other minors, while your family went out to try their best to keep the lights on and keep a roof over your head. Listen to that type of message.
But back then it was a village also.
Okay.
Even though my parents weren't home, the whole block was a village.
Okay.
Meaning that where we lived, shout out to East 42nd Street, Avenue J. We knew everyone on that block, and all those parents helped all the other parents. They would come and check up on us. You know what I mean? They would. Do you understand? We worked as a collective on our block. So even though my parents weren't home, like if something was wrong, I can run to neighbor's house. Because remember, there was no cell phones back then. There was no social media back then. So it was more like, face-to-face interaction,
But stop right there. In your mind, you think that you had enough time to run to somebody else's house. But the reality of the situation is having a minor in the house with 2 other minors is very dangerous. And I'm not saying that they're wrong for that, but what I'm trying to explain to you is this is the reality of what a lot of children go through today. Because they can't.
You know what it is? My parents couldn't afford babysitting.
That's what I said. Childcare.
That's the sacrifice that was required for you to be in lifestyle that you have.
Because they had to put food on the table. They had to pay for rent.
Correct.
They had to take care of the kids. And this is what current society doesn't understand. Parents don't want to leave their kids home. But sometimes it becomes like a choice. Either I don't work or I work. Because babysitting is as much as sometimes as your rent these days. And you don't even make that much.
But wait. Stop assuming. Who is the society that you're referring to? When you say society doesn't understand, who is the society you're referring to? It can't be
meaning that there's studies out there. There's studies out there that if you do your research, childcare is so expensive for parents to afford that sometimes they decide to stay at home.
But you're missing it.
It's cheaper to stay at home than to go to work to afford childcare.
But you're still missing it. Society is the one that creates the rates for childcare. Society completely listen, when you're talking about society.
But it's entrepreneurs.
When you're talking about society, we're included in your society, but we understand because your neighbors are going through the exact same things that you're going through. So we're not talking about us. We're talking about the people that control the economic flow, people that control the job. Once again, think about what you're saying. Start back at the foundation. They understand exactly how expensive it is. It's made to be that expensive so that you're forced to make that decision. Stay your ass home and stay on welfare. And now when you're on welfare, we control you because you got to abide by the guidelines to get this assistance, or leave your child home and risk us taking your kid. It's all designed the way it runs.
Message.
Understand exactly what they're doing. It's designed for it to be that way. It's designed for you to feel like there is no way to win because there isn't any way to win. And that's how they're winning. They keep putting us up against each other, and we're not realizing that it's a lose-lose here. It's a lose-lose here, and there's no way to win because the game is already rigged. Already rigged. That's what I'm trying to get across. It's already rigged. That's why the starting line is completely different.
No, I hear you.
Because it's rigged already. So again, right? That's why we started the origin stories. Because for you to come on and say, yo, this is where I started, humble beginnings, right?
Yes.
And you tell that.
Wait, where's Jarrett at?
He had to go to the bathroom.
Oh.
Like, it's okay. It's okay. You can be on here with me. Yeah, don't worry.
Okay.
He coming back. But for you to start off by expressing, and this is why we start at the beginning. What makes your success now so much more valuable, not only to you, but to the culture that is going to hear your story, is by hearing your humble beginning story, to understand and relate to it and say, yo, I lived through that. Like, I lived through the free cheese. I lived through when food stamps actually was in a fucking book and they were color coded and like Crayolas, and I lived through that. So I can relate to we used to get the free cheese from the food pantries. You would go in a food pantry with your shopping cart and stand your ass in line. I know what you're talking about. Then we got a couple extra cheeses. We go to the bodega and sell them to the bodega because they got the slicing machine and they love that shit. So see, I can relate to that. But again,
you know what? I have to say, shout out to the parents who it's hard. It's hard. It is hard. It's hard to be a parent. It's not easy at all. So shout out to people who are out there raising children, because you make a lot of difficult choices every single day, you know, whether to put food on the table, you know, childcare, giving your kids, you know, the education that they really deserve, going to the schools and fighting for your kids because they do deserve the education. And the system is sometimes not understanding because they don't see it because they're not in it.
Okay.
You know, sometimes people don't see systems because they're not in the system. Okay. So they don't understand it.
Let's talk about that. You say shout out to the parents, right? Because it's difficult being a parent. So let's take it back to the foundation. Forget being a parent. It's difficult to be a human being. How about that? It's difficult to be an actual human being in this day and age. So let's start there. But again, I'm not going to straddle the fence. I'm not going to straddle the fence. You know why a lot of parents find it so difficult to find all these, you know, resources and da-da-da? You know why? Because you shouldn't have been a goddamn parent when you became a parent. How about that? How about you should have educated yourself on what it took to be a responsible adult before you brought a life into this world without the resources to take care of it yourself without relying on government assistance. So don't skip.
Why is it both? You said yourself.
Hold on, though.
Two to tango.
Hold on.
Takes two to tango. You said yourself.
Hold on. It does take two to tango. But again, right, we're not going to straddle the fence. It takes two to tango, right? the women still have the majority of the power. It is not an even balance. We don't carry the kid. It ain't no even balance. It's up to you, the woman that carries the child. I'm your boyfriend. I get you pregnant. I say, I don't want the baby. You can say, go fuck yourself. I'm having a baby. And there's nothing legally I can do about it. You think that's a balance? You think that's a balance? It took two of us to tangle. So we were even when we was tangling. But now that you got this baby, we ain't equal.
But you know what? But you can control your birth control too. You can wear a condom.
No. Don't miss it.
You can wear a condom. You have a choice.
We're moving to go slightly.
Don't miss it. You could also be on birth control. This ain't no one-sided shit. But the bottom line is, I could be on I could use a condom. You could be on birth control. That's still even. That's both of us using what's called a contraceptive. Yeah. You still are missing it. The moment you get pregnant, it is no longer an even battle. It is no longer an even battle. It becomes 75.
It's a woman's choice.
All right then. So let's go again. So if you're gonna talk about it, don't be one-sided.
It's a woman's choice, but it's still your child.
Hold on.
No, absolutely.
We're not saying it's not your child. What I'm saying is very clear and concise. It is hard to be a human being. So if you know that you're living a difficult life and you know that you can barely support yourself and you want to have sex, I'm not saying don't have sex, but how can you, when we talk about being a parent and parents should take on the extra responsibility of educating themselves about being a parent, how about you should have took on the extra responsibility before you became a fucking parent to educate yourself on what being a responsible adult looks like in supporting yourself right off the back, and then what a parent being a responsible parent would look like before you decided to bring the baby in. Don't talk about the problem after it's already created. Talk about the problem.
But it seems like you're still blaming the woman though.
No.
Yeah,
no. We just
because I can blame anybody. Is it both of us responsibility?
No. I can definitely resonate with it.
Okay, how do you resonate?
Right. I had my first child at 20. Right.
Okay.
She's, my son's mother said she was going to have an abortion. The next day, her mother said, no, we're not doing that. We don't believe in that, this and the third. Right. So me as a man, I had to say, okay, that shit is real. I have to figure this thing out. I have no choice in this thing. This baby will be here in 8 months. You know what I'm trying to say? So I had to stop hustling. I had to do that. That changed my life. I had zero say in the.
Technically, you didn't have to stop hustling. You didn't have to change.
You chose.
Thank you.
Chose to.
Give yourself credit because there's a lot of people that do not stop their life based on that. So give yourself the credit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, and that's just the real. So what he's saying is that we don't have the choice. It's not an equal choice, right? We're not blaming anybody because we love the black family. What we're saying is let's be prepared when we create this black family so we can have the best black family experience.
I agree. You should be. But my sisters had children like at 16 and 17, and my parents said, "No, you're not having an abortion." Right?
Really?
And
stop right there. Whose choice is it? Your parents or your sisters? Realistically.
Well, there was 16.
You missed it. I asked you a very simple question. We can't keep deflecting. They are pregnant. We just told you yes. If the man that helps create the baby does not have an equal say, your parents that had nothing to do with creating that child have how much say now? And if your sister would have said, I'm having an abortion and that's that, what could your parents really do? Honestly.
Nothing.
And you know who has zero say? Probably that 16-year-old boy who's on the opposite side who also has parents.
Thank you.
Nothing. But then, but my parents. But kudos to my parents because they said that they would help. They would help both. They would be, and they did help because
super dope. My sisters
are nurses. Right. So it wasn't like they said don't have an abortion and they wasn't gonna help at all. It was really a religious thing. Like my dad was a pastor.
Okay. So
it was more about, if God's gonna give you life, God makes no mistakes. You can't take life away. So because we grew up in the church. Okay. So my sisters were scared. I thought their asses were gonna get kicked because I was the oldest. I was scared to do something like that because I know my father would kick my ass, right? But they welcomed it in open arms because they said babies are not a mistake, right? So the boys wanted them to have an abortion, right? But my sisters decided, both of them decided to keep them. The Irish twins are like less than 1 year apart. But at the end of the day, like one of my sisters said, at the time he was paying like $23 a month. for the child because he didn't want to be a part of it. And my sister was like, look, I made the decision. I want to keep the child. So technically they put you on child support, but then she never went back. As the child got older, she never went back to get more money because she felt like it was her choice.
But stop right there. Stop right there. Don't speed past the fact of how he got on child support. When you have a baby, the government does not automatically intervene in your issue child support. That is not the way it works. For him to be put on child support, somebody had to put in the claim for government assistance, and the government had to step in and start providing assistance and then go, where's the child's father? That is how child support.
Well, my sisters were not on government assistance, but my parents felt that because they were underage, so was you know what I mean, that he should be responsible and support the child. So my parents went in now, because remember my sisters were minors, so technically my parents were still basically in charge of my sisters. They went in and said, we're going to put a child support claim against the fathers.
I just want to let you know something. That's not how the New York State Unified Court System works. Your parents could go in and say whatever they want. The moment your sister became a mother, it is her child. It is her. Even though she's a minor, she's still a mother. All the responsibility is hers. Her parent cannot sign off without her.
No,
okay.
My parents didn't sign off. My sister was there signing off, but Correct. My parents was there dragging her to go.
There it is. So look, I'm not being funny, but look at what happened. Your sister decided to lay with a guy. Your parents had absolutely no say or input on their sexual interactions. But now that she's pregnant, your parents now are taking control technically of what happens to the relationship and the child with more authority than the actual child's father.
But that happens a lot, though.
You're missing it, though. Just because something happens a lot doesn't make it right. Slavery happened a lot, right? Black people got hung and lynched a lot, right? Does it make it right? Because
it doesn't make it right.
Commonplace.
It doesn't make it right. But how are you blaming my parents for being involved?
I'm not blaming.
No, nobody blaming anybody.
Missing it. I'm not blaming anybody. What I don't do is blame. What I do is bring light to the situation in general, and I just do not allow straddling of the fence. I'm going to keep the message consistent. What I said to you was very clear. It doesn't matter what age you are. Like you said, everybody has the ability to learn to a certain extent, unless you are mentally incapacitated or something like that, right? Let's be clear, right? I have a child. My child is older than Jarrett's child. You understand? My oldest is older than his oldest. His oldest and my youngest are the same age. Mm-hmm. But be clear, as much as I ran the streets, as much as I was rebellious and blah, 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 when I brought a child into this world, I had already had an education, finished high school, went into the military for 5 years, and actually didn't plan on getting out the military. I went into the military to provide benefits as a job, as a way to raise a child, came home with an ability to buy a home, and I came home with resources readily available. Not to say that I didn't need help, but I made sure that I did what I had to do to provide primarily first. See, I didn't ask nobody to take on the primary responsibility. Yes, the village can help me, but I stepped up and said, before I bring a child into this world, let me make sure my shit is straight. And life happens, but I came home.
So you wanted your child. You wanted your child.
I absolutely wanted a child at that time. But again, be clear. Life happens because I was sexually active. I could have gotten a child earlier than that, but I still was in the process of setting myself up to primarily provide the resources for the child. That is the message. If you want to bring a child into this world, not to say that you could do it any way you want, but you can't blame a system for not helping you when you didn't help yourself initially. You can't blame a system for not educating you when you did not take it. If you were grown enough to open your legs and do that now, you had to be taught that, then you were grown enough to pick up a book, an encyclopedia, and learn how to be in it. See, this is what I'm saying.
Wait. You talk about straddling, right? Mm-hmm. So now you're saying that the information is in our hand.
It is.
You can say that about anything else then.
What do you mean?
You can't have it both ways. You can't say you can do the research, open up an encyclopedia and learn the information. But in other instances, you're saying that, well, the information is not there. So how would they know?
That's not what I said.
So how would they know? If you're a kid and you're 16 years old, how would they know?
What I said to you was very clear. You
How
said,
would they know?
let me explain it to you.
Yeah.
We talked about the educational system.
Okay.
The educational system, and correct me if I'm wrong, did not teach your sisters how to have sex. Am I lying? Did the educational system, did public school teach your sisters how to have sex? Did public school teach you how to have sex? The answer is
No, but you know what? There was sex,
No, no,
but there
no,
was
no.
sex
No, 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 no,
education.
no, no, no.
There was sex education. It made you more curious.
Education
Education made you more curious. It
It was
did.
the legal cable box and the Spice Channel. We had the legal cable box, Channel 95.
Exactly. So once again, as children,
So
because
then how did girls know about sex? We were all looking at illegal channels.
No, I'm just joking with you. I know that's
No,
how I
I'm just
learned.
saying. How did we know?
Let me
How
explain
did
it to you.
girls know?
Let me explain it to you.
Okay.
You learn, everybody learns information the same exact way. I keep saying it, through your 5 senses. You input information and take it the way you take it. You just said your parents were not home a lot of the times, which means your parents are not.
No, that's when we were young. That's when we were younger.
Even in school.
By the time by the time we started getting older, like by the time my sisters were like 10, we moved to the suburbs.
It doesn't matter.
My parents were home.
What year? At what age did look? Watch this. At what age did your sisters get pregnant? Start with that.
16.
Okay, stop right there. Were they in school? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. The average school day is 8 hours.
And shout out to my nephews. I love you guys so much.
Okay. Shout out to your nephews.
Yeah, because I don't want them. They weren't a mistake. We love you.
Okay. Listen. Yes or no? The average school system day, whether private or public, 7 to 8 hours, yes or no?
Yes.
This does not include travel time, yes or no?
Yes.
This does not include after school programs to help you do your homework and things of that nature, yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. So it does not matter where you grow up at. What I'm telling you is from 7 to 8 hours a day, not including the travel time to school, not including the travel time from school, after school, and then your playtime outside. You are interacting with everybody else in the world other than your parents, which means your peers. Now, guess where your education comes from? Your peers and their influence and their education. And that's where you learned it from. You learned it from your peers. So once again, this is what I'm explaining to you. And you don't learn one thing from your peers. You learn sex, you learn drugs, you learn gang shit, and you choose to pick up on what you want to pick up on and throw away what you want to throw away, and then, get interested in what you want to get interested in. So that's what I'm talking about. You get an abundance of information from the outside world that has nothing to do with your parents. Your parents only reinforce what they felt like you knew already. Especially religious parents, they have a very big thing about not talking about sex at an early age. They wait entirely too long. They didn't.
So they didn't.
So guess what? That's what I just said. So your religious parents, as much structure as they had, left it up to the outside world to teach you sex education.
Well, no, it wasn't left to the outside world, because in the Bible, when you grow up with religious parents, it says in the Bible you should not have sex before you're married.
Let's try again. Does it say you should not teach sex before you're married?
No, it says you should not have sex.
Let's try again.
The Bible right now.
So let's try again.
You should not have sex before you're married.
Just because you're not supposed to have something doesn't mean you can't learn about it before you become able to do it. What are we talking? Make sure we're having the right conversation before you are able to do it. I don't want to wait until you are in puberty and you're developing and now your hormones are screaming sex before I teach you sex. Let me teach it to you before that. So when your body starts to transition, you understand what's going on and you are able to accept it.
This generation does it. But when we were growing up, our parents really didn't sit there and talk about the birds and the bees. Stop. They didn't teach it to us.
Whose fault is that, though?
Huh?
Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
The parents.
Thank you. It's the parents' fault. You can't put that. If you say your parents didn't do something, then nobody else gets responsibility other than your parents. If my parents didn't do a lot of shit. And you know who I blame? My fucking parents. I don't blame your parents. It wasn't your parents' job. It was my parent, the people that brought me into this world to teach me certain things.
So where did you learn that you didn't want to have a kid? You didn't want to be a teenage father? The street. Yes.
Because we surviving, and how can we survive and bring somebody else if we barely surviving? Because we outside.
I can learn it in the streets.
If the street is teaching you to survive, why were there so many teenage mothers?
Watch this. I didn't grow up with mommy and daddy. You grew up with mommy and daddy. Jared grew up with mommy and daddy. I don't know what daddy is. How about that? I'm a phenomenal father and was never taught how to be a father by my father.
Yeah.
How about that? How about that?
Facts.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what are we talking? I'm telling you where we learned it at. I learned it in the streets, along with a lot of good shit and a lot of negative shit. And guess what I did? Like every other person has the ability to do. I chose to follow certain things and say, nah, I'm not with this on other things. Did I make mistakes? Yes. Is it my parents' fault that they didn't teach it to me? Yes. Two things can be true. But guess what? At some point, you have to start pointing the finger at you and saying, when you are mentally able to understand what you are learning and understand what right and wrong was, you have to take responsibility for your own personal actions at that point. 16 and 17 years old, you're almost an adult, because women in the eyes of society at 18 are adults. Men aren't really adults until 21, so you mature faster. So I'm not hearing no excuse. At 16, you mature faster than me. At 18, you're considered an adult and you don't know what you're doing yet. See, that's called straddling the fence.
Look, I hear what you're saying, but your point is, if the choice is completely on the woman, you're saying that. What are you saying? Like the men, like what are you saying? What is the point of what you're saying?
Here's my
if we
message.
choose to keep the kid, it means what exactly? You're saying that we're not ready, so we shouldn't have the kid?
Here's my message. My message is we scream for equality. The word is equality. What are we fighting for against these other ethnic cultures? Equality, treat us equal. But in our own culture, if you get pregnant, I just said it, the moment you get pregnant, we are no longer equal. Jarrett just said we can't even organize crime. We can't even organize being parents on a mutual level.
So
from
what happens
the
to the black
inception of
community
the
and the
day.
black family?
What are we talking? So now you wonder why the black family is not a family, because right off the back of the creation of the family, the dynamics of the equality is no longer equality.
Message. But there's a lot of men.
Message.
There is a lot of men that want. Look, when someone gets pregnant, there's a lot of men that want to have the baby at first.
No facts.
You can't tell me there isn't.
No facts.
And then once the baby comes, shit changes.
You're negating the fact. The fact is what I said is either you're going to acknowledge it or you're not. Is equality still equality the moment a woman conceives? Yes or no?
I say yes.
You say yes? Is the reality yes? Let's try that question. Let's try
I say yes, because you could have used condoms to protect yourself. You had a choice. You had to look. You had a choice.
That's crazy.
All of this too.
That's crazy.
So you gotta tell me,
that's
when
crazy.
You learn in science, if you ejaculate into a woman, there's a chance that they might get pregnant. And because you wanted to ejaculate without protecting yourself, and the woman decides to keep the child, then the man is not responsible also?
That's definitely not the point.
I think you're deliberately missing it, which is like shocking to me.
No, I'm not.
What I'm saying is very simple.
Because I don't.
I'm asking you this.
Where I come
under the law. Wait. Let me do it.
My experience.
Hold on. Let me do it.
Deliberately missing it because I'm talking from my experience.
Hold on.
You're talking from your experience.
No. I'm talking about life. Let me do it this way. You know they got anti-abortion laws right now, right? What if they created a law? What if they created a law and said, as of the conception of the child, the man is granted 50% responsibility and the woman is granted 50% of responsibility. And if they cannot come to an even understanding of bringing that child into the world, if the man says no and the woman says yes, and it's an uneven, then that child cannot come into the world because they're not on the same page equally. Would you like that? Of course. See, exactly. And that's
because I have to think about it.
Why?
Because there is a law right now that says, I don't know if it's Alabama or Tennessee, that says as of the baby conception, men have to start paying child support.
There are how many states? Once again, stop using isolated instances.
No, it's going to spread. It's going to spread.
Let's talk about the culture right now, not where it's going to spread. The culture right now. I just said to you very specifically, the man do not have equal rights to the woman when starting a family, but yet you want us to be a family. I asked you very specifically, if there was a law enacted where the man was given 50% and the woman was 50%, because guess what? I didn't wear a condom and you didn't take no birth control. So we are 50% equally responsible. Yeah. If there was a law that said we are not on the same page, when Jarrett told his baby mother, I don't want to have a child right now, for whatever reason, it could have been because I want to chew bubble gum and walk down the street and rub my belly and see bubble baby buggy bumpers, whatever his reason was, doesn't matter. The fact that he said no and she said yes is not equal. She's not allowed to have that baby. If there was a law that said that, how would women feel about that? Directly. What is it? It doesn't matter religion.
Wait, no, because we carry the baby.
Don't bring religion in it. You know why you can't
carry the baby.
You know why you can't bring religion?
We carry the baby. No. We carry the baby though.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
You, it's not really 50-50. Do you carry the
baby? Finally, she admits it. It took you all that time to admit exactly what I said 20 minutes ago. Jarrett?
It's not equal, but you're right. It's not equal because we carry the baby.
Thank you. You're right. So when we talk about society in general, Danny, you are a beautiful, well-spoken, educated woman. We are handsome, young, educated men. And it still took us 20 minutes to come to the exact same conclusion that you already knew 20 minutes ago. Why did we have to go through 20 minutes of chasing our tails for you to admit something
because
that
I have to see? Because the way I think is I have to see all angles of stuff. I don't just jump in. I have to think of
this is a basic thing that you already knew, not only as a woman, but as a mother. You knew this already.
But I don't want young kids who are having babies to feel bad. It's a very sensitive topic,
for sure.
Especially for young kids, because it's making it feel like you're blaming the woman for making the choice. Because I know, but that is how I interpret it. That is how I'm interpreting. I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but I get it. It's not 50-50. I get it. We make the choice to have the baby, and the men have to come along with it, whether they want to or not. Got it.
That's all.
All right.
That's all.
I admit it. You guys really have no choice.
Hold on, Danny. For that, you get the
Yo, you guys are like tough interviewers here. I'm like,
no. I like where it's going. It's just it's real dialogue that needs to be happening.
Chadeo was on some like,
we charge ourselves.
I didn't know this was gonna be 2020.
No, it's not that. We charge ourselves with being curators of the
You gave me some tough questions. I thought it was gonna be some light stuff.
No.
Like I feel like I'm being interviewed by George Stephanopoulos right now. I gotta make sure what I say.
Listen.
Ain't gonna use against me in the future. Okay.
We charge ourselves with being curators of the culture, right? It's like being a spiritual leader, right? You cannot spread misinformation. You have to be unbiased. I didn't say the men wasn't wrong for not wearing a condom. He's absolutely wrong. What I want to spread is a understandable, unified message that is the truth. We cannot, even if this is our platform, we cannot allow just bias. You got to just tell the truth and for what the truth is. If we wrong, we wrong. Guess what? If we didn't wear a condom,
but you got to understand this. Everyone has their truth based on their experience.
Now stop right there.
That is my truth. You can't say, well, that's not the truth, because that is my experience.
Okay, so watch this. And that's why as a culture, we haven't progressed, because everybody's experience is so far. You can have an experience and still understand what the truth is. Watch this. My experience is, my mama said, don't go down this motherfucking hill on this skateboard. It's a sharp hill. You're going to kill yourself. And you know what my experience was? I was a hard-headed ass. I went down that fucking hill on that skateboard face first and came back all scraped up, and that's my experience. But guess what? The truth was, I was fucking stupid, because she warned me of the danger beforehand, and I didn't fucking listen. Plain and simple. So you can have your experience, but you still understand what the truth is. Now, the problem is the direction and the correlation between what you understand the truth to be and how much you want to admit it from your experience. That's where the disconnect happens. A lot of us have experiences, and because we have an experience and we know what the truth is, we don't want to fucking admit it because you think it makes us look bad. No, it doesn't make us look bad. It means we were human. We made a fucking mistake, but until you acknowledge the fact that you actually made a mistake, you cannot move forward.
But you know what? At least it took me 20 minutes. I got it in 20 minutes, but
I'll give you that.
But there's generations that don't get it.
That's a fact.
That's
you know what? Because we're not having these conversations. More of these conversations need to be had. This way, the way we're having it now, unapologetically, unfiltered. That's the real.
So what is the goal? The Black family, the Black community. How do we empower each other? How do we win? How do we win? But imagine that. So this was a 20-minute conversation just on air. We just shooting the shit, right? Imagine the real conversations are being had by that 16-year-old, that 16-year-old boy, that 16-year-old girl, their families and things like that. They can't get it together. Now the child's experiencing this. Like when I went through my shit, guess what? I wasn't ready to be a family. I was like, yo, I'm going to be real. I'm going to work. I'm going to be the greatest daddy ever, but I just can't be with you right now because that's not where I'm at in my life. That's just real. Guess what? I went through hell. And I'm one of the best fathers on. I'm like, I am an excellent father. I haven't missed a basketball game, baseball game. I'm at every practice. I'm at homework. I haven't missed a parent-teacher conference. I wake up, cook pancakes. I do everything.
Message.
But that's just what it is.
But you just didn't want to. You wasn't ready to have a relationship with her.
No, he had a relationship with her. He had a lot of relations. That's how
it's just me being self-aware. It's me being self-aware to say I'm 20 years old. Guess what? I'm still traveling. I don't know what the hell I want to do in my life, but guess what? I still have to be a father, so I have to figure it out. Do I mean I have to figure it out with you? Do I jeopardize my happiness to be with you to say family? Because we can still be family and not be together.
Ladies, I just want you guys to understand. You just hear what he said? Babies don't keep men. You just heard that, right?
You can't do that.
No, because some women do keep the child because they think it's going to save the relationship or it's going to keep the man there. And he just said it.
But what's the stat? Can I give you something on that?
Keep going.
But how many men are going to be honest with themselves and their partner?
No, I love your honesty.
And that's but guess what? How hard of that conversation was? I had to go through the hell. A lot of men don't want to go through the hell. So guess what? We'll go through hell together. We'll be unhappy. We'll fucking be beating on each other. All this other shit just to try to keep the family together, to try to say we did the right thing. If it's not right, it's not right.
And guess what that causes, Danny? When the child
trauma.
And that creates generational trauma. And guess how it creates it? Subconsciously, because you didn't directly teach that to your kid. Your kid felt the energy. He felt mommy and daddy fighting. He didn't know what a fight was, but the kids could feel that rage, that energy, and it creates generational trauma.
But that's why I made the decision. You know, right. I have like a lot of friends who say they're staying, you know, for the kids. But a lot of kids will say, I wish my parents didn't stay together because of all the animosity, right? So for people out there that they're saying for the kids, you're doing the kids a disservice if you are not equally yoked with your partner and you're not on the same page. The constantly fighting is destroying them inside. And that's why sometimes
who's getting the disservice first? Add to that. Who's getting the disservice first? The children? Who gets the biggest disservice? Absolutely not.
Absolutely. The parent is?
Absolutely. Because you are the number one source of information for your children. So if you're not happy, you can't teach your kids to be happy. If emotionally you're in distress, then they're going to learn emotional distress. So you're doing yourself the disservice first, because if the man is not there, which in a lot of urban households, you grow up with the mommy, then the emotional trauma comes from the mother. Okay. So when you hear about men being fucked up, you want to talk about that? Go look at the documentary that just came out, I think a couple weeks ago, about how they surveyed so many men, and they said, yo, where does most of your emotional trauma come from? And they're going to say, my mother.
No,
a lot
but
of
no.
And killers and all that. It ain't
but I say this to my friends all the time.
Mama.
When they say they can't meet a good black man or whatever, I always say, well, look at the mom. Because the mom is supposed to teach the son how to treat a woman. Yes, a man is supposed to treat him too, but the mom is the nurturer. The mom is supposed to teach the son how to date, how to open the door. I mean, dads do it too, but most of the time the kids are with the mom. So if you can't find a good black man out there, I always tell them, well, look at the moms, because they should be taking the lead role. They should, of how a black man should be treating a black woman. And it's not, I know we all want to blame men for that, but it's really on the ownership of us as women. And number two, do not stay in a relationship. Jarrett is right, Chadeo is right, and I agree with them. If the relationship has too much animosity, it's better to separate and co-parent, because you're there for the kid versus you're trying to fulfill this. You know what it is? Back in the day, it was like ride or die. It was being loyal. That's why we didn't really separate. It was the fact that we were supposed to be ride or die chicks. We were supposed to stay through thick and thin, through everything. And breaking up meant that we weren't loyal. Breaking up meant that we were failures, but we have to now change that narrative now and saying it's okay to separate and still raise a kids in different homes. We could co-parent, but we just don't work. And that's okay.
That requires work.
I got to play devil's advocate. You know, in most societies that have religions, especially the Bible, marriage is for better and worse. That means the good shit and the bad shit, and not divorce, the better and the worse, the sickness and the health. So for you to just say it's okay to separate again, see, this is why I don't like to bring religion into human being, because if you're following the book, it says marriage is marriage. Hold on.
But you know what? But
marriage
it's gonna be based. But it's gonna be based on your beliefs. So I'm talking about me personally. Yeah. Because if you are married, you do make the commitment. It's in the vows. It says for better or worse. You know worse is gonna happen. So it's a matter of, are you gonna be able to navigate it together?
Then you should have never took the vows. You should have thought about that before you got married. I'm not being funny.
Life is gonna get worse.
I'm not being funny. I'm just being Danny. Hear me out.
Yeah, this is a real conversation.
Hear me out, Danny. Hear me out. As human beings, we are very impulsive. Can you agree to that?
Yes, very impulsive.
Thank you. As human beings, we make a lot of our judgments on our decision making based not on intelligence but emotions in the moment. Can you agree to that?
Yes.
Okay, because a lot of times we know the shit that we doing is fucking stupid, but we do it because we feel a certain way, right? Okay. So the same way that we can take responsibility that we should have taken more time to educate ourselves about sexual orientation, blah, 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 blah. Again, if you're spiritual and you're taking a vow to say to somebody, I want to spend the rest of this is what the vow is in any religion, right? When you get married, it is for life. It's supposed to be for life. So you make a vow to somebody that I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Okay, but how do I know that I want to spend the rest of my life with you when I don't even know who I am as a person yet? When I don't even know what I want to be as a person yet? I don't even know. You understand? I don't understand me. How can I understand you? How can I be the best for me when be the best for you? Now, if I don't even understand who I am, this is the problem. When you enter into a union like that and you don't understand what the union actually means, then you are already setting yourself up for failure. And I'm not saying you personally, I'm talking about the man and the woman. It is equal responsibility to be there, because the man at that point can walk away. The woman at that point, before you're married, can say, no, this is not right. This is what I'm talking about.
But the men do the asking.
Okay, but once again, I don't want
to. If you feel that you're not ready as a person, if you feel like you can't complete those vows with the person that you're with, then you shouldn't be asking. Here's
the thing. So with that being said, then I'm going to pose this question to anybody listening. What woman or man in America that went through puberty, 14, 13, 12, and I'm giving y'all late numbers, because in my hood, we were sexually active at like 7, 8. We started super early. Hold on.
Shit.
By 14? By 14?
When was your first sexual interaction?
We was having orgy parties by 14. But let's be clear. That's a fact.
Shit.
Let's be clear. Based on what you just said, watch this. Based on what you just said, think about that. Based on what you just said. What kid, let's keep it 100. Even use yourself. What kid, man or woman, going through puberty where your body's changing, you starting to feel things, you changing. What kid says in their right mind to their partner, hey, I know that, I'm going through puberty, you going through puberty. If we lay down even one time, I could get pregnant, and says, yeah, if you're not committed to being with me for the rest of your life, or understanding that this one time could possibly, the condom can break and birth control can fail. Let me just let you know that too, because I know, because I know children that were born off of birth control, and I'm not talking a pill, I'm talking that was inserted inside you, it still was born. Okay, so condoms break and birth control is not 100%. So once again, even if we took the precautions, you were on birth control, I had on a condom, it broke, your birth control didn't work, the baby's here, we both still took the responsibility of trying. what kid in their right mind says, before I lay down with you, if you're not willing to make a lifelong commitment to me, we will not have sex? And the answer is not a near nutter. If that was the case, sex would be at an all-time low. It wouldn't even.
And the piggyback. And guess what? Most men, let's keep it all the way real, from 14, 15, to get the draws might be like, yeah, I'll be with you.
You guys sell a dream. You guys sell a dream.
I keep it real. At 15 years old to get it.
I love you. I'm gonna be with you. Oh, if you get pregnant, I'm gonna be there. Come on, admit it. You guys be selling a dream, and when the shit really happens,
hold on.
I keeps it real.
Me personally, I keeps it real. I'm too seasoned.
We never said that men don't lie.
Men do lie.
I never said that. We never said that. When did you ever hear me say that?
I can speak for myself. I know I'm an anomaly in certain situations.
You're still missing it.
Let me not miss it. Let me keep it real. Go.
Keep it real.
All I'm saying to you is something very simple.
Go ahead.
You can't be smart and dumb at the same time,
no,
Danny.
You can't.
Women know when niggas is lying. You know when niggas is lying.
No, we don't.
we going there. That's where we going.
Stop. We're not talking about a con man. We're not talking about a confidence man that is trained in lying. We talking about puberty. You dating a dude. You know if he really like you or not. You know if he's into you or not. If he's just trying to get some. You know if he dating.
And you know what dudes are the snipers. You know which dude got all the girls that you're still curious about. You know.
Guess what? Good girls. Danny, you was in private school. Let me tell you about Aquinas. Let me tell you about Aquinas. We got an Aquinas in the Bronx.
Ooh, St. Catherine's.
That's a fact. We got a St. Catherine in the Bronx. And I know where. Let me tell you what we used to do to Aquinas. We would pull up. We would cut. Because we was one of the only kids that have cars. We would cut. We was in 12th grade. We would cut, leave school, pull up in Aquinas, and sit outside waiting for all them good girls like you to come outside with them little motherfucking skirts and all that. And we would sit all like this. And guess what the good girls did when they seen us babble? You clearly.
Right.
You clearly know we not adults, right? You clearly know we kids with cars and who 15 got a car. So clearly you know what we doing to have jewelry and cars. But you know what y'all good girls love? You know what y'all good girls love?
A bad boy.
Boy. The bad
No
boy.
Diddy.
No Diddy. So, that's what I'm talking about, right? So the moment you walk up to my car, not only did you walk up to my car, but you brought your crew. And I said, yo, let's go get something to drink. And you're like, wait, you 15, 16, you got alcohol? Facts. And we got weed? Facts. And you knew that shit wasn't good. So if I told you I loved you to get some, you knew that was a lie.
But you detector determined.
You know what? We wanted to believe it a little bit. We wanted to believe it a little bit. We wanted to believe it a little bit, though. You wanted to believe that he could really love me.
Then we wanted to believe it too. I wanted to feel like I could love you, but after I realized I got to know you, I don't like you.
Right after, I just happened to feel like. Right after I got it, I just felt like this.
What are you talking about here?
I felt like that afterwards for some reason.
Yo, but that's why I know it's not common anymore, but that's why I tell girls to try to hold out as much as possible and get a man's brain before you get the other brain. Because if you give that the second one first and he's not feeling you didn't lock him in with the intelligence, then you usually not gonna get a call back. You got to lock him in up here first.
From my perspective, I would want to have that sooner than later. But guess what gets me, right? As a man, it gets me. My love is loyalty, respect, how we treat each other. Do you support me? Do you have my back? Or do we have each other's back? Can we talk? Can I be my whole self around you? A lot of times, most men, let's just see for black men, they can't be them whole selves around women, right? I know for me, right? The realest thing, you want to lose somebody you love, tell them the truth.
Message.
And that's what I did. I risked that with mine. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real.
Wait. So you told the truth and she left?
Yeah, because why would I gonna lie?
So what'd you tell her?
I love you. Why I lie to you?
Wait, what'd you tell her?
The truth.
I tell her the truth.
That's the word. TRUTH.
The truth.
No, but what did you exactly tell her?
It doesn't matter. We don't see that's semantics. Don't Don't chase the carrot.
The truth for me, I'm not gonna get into detail, but the truth for me is I care about the family and more our dynamic and what we're gonna be, what we're gonna leave for our kids, how we're gonna raise our kid, all that other stuff. What happens in between, we're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make a mistake, I'm gonna make a mistake. When we do make those mistakes, what happens? Do we still love each other? Are we still gonna fight? Or you just want a lifestyle that you think you want because you just want to say, hey, I got a man that's monogamous or something like that. When the truth is, with the ladder that we're climbing, we have more visibility than most men. Guess what? You just said we're handsome young men. We're doing this. We're trying to create generational wealth. Guess what? That attracts a lot of women.
Message.
And that's just real. I'm not saying I'm out here just banging anything.
Especially now more
If
than
you have
ever.
your truth, if you have your truth, Jarrett gets to have his truth. That's all I say. You see, you notice. See, you know what I love about me? I'm fundamental. I bring everything back to the same exact thing: equality.
So you know what we need to do as couples, as a man and a woman, we need to have more honest conversations.
That's it.
Whether it hurts the person or not, we just need to be honest, and wherever it falls, it falls.
There you go.
That's the thing. But and I'm gonna tell you for most men, and why they be like, yo, men is dogs and all that. Guess what? Because the man doesn't want to tell the truth and lose the person he loves. I took the risk. I may be an anomaly with that, but guess what? Most men ain't gonna be like, you know what? I saw Shorty with the and guess what? She was bad, and I'm working harder. That's just reality. Men won't be honest like that. They won't.
No, I understand the reality. I have an older brother, so I have a lot of guy cousins.
You know,
and I get the reality about the monogamy thing. I sometimes feel like it's hard to really believe that a man's going to be monogamous.
It's hard.
Wait. So time. I don't even. You know why I don't want to do that? I don't want to do that because if that's the belief, then there should be no marriage. Period. Because in the laws of marriage, it doesn't say polygamy. That says monogamy. So let's not even do that because
it does say that.
I don't know.
I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Right. This is what I want to say. Honest is honest. Can I just say
Whatever
that?
That is. Yeah.
Honest is honest in whatever it means. It can mean Jarrett says, I don't want to have a job. I want to be a bum. I want to be a professional gamer. And that's his truth. And if that's his truth, either accept him for being a gamer or leave him the fuck alone. The problem is.
But what about the truth is, I love you? What about the truth is, I love you, but I need to have other partners? Is that part of the truth?
That could be the truth.
You missed
that. Could be the truth.
See, Jarrett said that could be the truth. And
for whoever that is. There's some people that's like that. Yeah.
Let's not get on monogamy because there's only one issue of a relationship. Sex is not the only thing that breaks up relationships. You know what breaks up relationships? Poverty, financial freedom, economics, stealing, right?
Communication.
Right? All right then. So there's so many other truths out there. Let's not follow the carrot.
Yeah, okay, got it.
One.
Yeah.
The truth is the truth. How about this? I have a high school education. I'm good because my success might be different from your vision, Danny. I'm good at the Wawa. I'm good at collecting food stamps and public assistance. This is a good life for me. I got my apartment. I don't want anything more. Now, whatever you feel about that is fine, but it's my truth. Accept it or don't.
Message.
Problem is, a lot of women feel like he's gonna change for me. This nana. It's gonna make it. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm
telling you right now, like pussy don't change nothing.
I didn't say it did. I didn't say it did.
No, I'm just saying it to the girls. I'm saying to the women out there, like this whole thing about my nana is better. I feel like it's a common denominator. How he is how he is. Like your partner is not gonna make him change.
Absolutely.
It's not like the way you put it on him is not gonna make him change. It's if he wants to change.
So once again, all we talk about is equality. It's the belief. You know that your nana not going to change him, but you might believe it. So because you believe it, you still do it anyway. All we're talking about is a basic principle. If we can be equal, let's be equal. If you want to have a conversation, let's just have a conversation about the truth. And that's across the board for both of us. If we can start the conversation there, we will progress so fast, it'll make your fucking head spin because then people can acknowledge their faults, acknowledge their shortcomings because we all have them, but we can stop arguing and chasing our tails for so long that we get
but you know what? Like women have come with emotions and the truth hurts.
Facts. That's an absolute fact. Absolute fact.
The truth hurts. You don't want to. We're emotional beings. The truth hurts.
So can I piggyback off of that? So the truth hurts, right? Guess what? I wanted a bad woman who was financially stable. Guess what? When I was working at BBQ smelling like ribs, they didn't want me. Guess what? Because I was smelling like ribs. You didn't see the potential. You didn't know what it was. You didn't know my mindset and all that. But guess what? Soon as we get some motion, what happens, right? Because you want the man that's financially stable. But guess what? By that time, I done worked so hard. I done overcame so many things. And guess what? I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor. And guess what? I want to be able to live it and support you and do what you want to do. But guess what? You know what comes with that? We want the motherfucker, or most people want the person that's that successful, but don't really understand what comes with that level of success.
So what comes with it?
It comes with a lot. It comes with temptation. It comes with a lot of bullshit. It comes with temptation. It comes with fucking disloyalty. It comes with a lot of shit.
But don't you think like women go through that too? Like
absolutely. No, we go through it together.
We don't.
The problem is, how do we get through it together?
We don't go through it together because once again, it's not equality. Men date, and if I'm wrong, Danny, you a beautiful woman.
This is real talk. We have a great conversation.
Men date for beauty. Women primarily date for stability. It is a complete fucking difference. That is not no fucking equality.
Yeah.
Jarrett could be at BBQs and be the hardest fucking worker, never late, do all the fucking
overtime. Dad, whatever.
A woman that comes in that's successful, especially if she with her girlfriends. God forbid you have any other fucking influence on you. Girl, he smell like ribs. You better not know. You might want to fuck with him, but your influence, he's a bum. He works at BBQs. But guess what? A man comes in successful and sees a beautiful woman as a waitress, he don't give a fuck what she do. She is gorgeous. And I am willing to take the fucking chance. That is not equal. That ain't equal. But the most ugliest men in the world get the most beautiful women in the world because they end up having the most money in the motherfucking world. And let me quote Biggie, black as ever. However, I stay Coogee down to the socks.
Rings and watch film.
All right then. And this was a big thing.
But I agree with you. I agree with you, but there's a lot of men that have 9-to-5 jobs who are married, who are so you can't say it's women. It's some women.
No,
I'm saying not some women. It's the majority of women. You know why? Because based on society, right? Based on socialism and the way that women are programmed, especially Caribbean women. So let's talk Caribbean women. Most Caribbean women from Caribbean islands, their culture is the man is the provider and you are the home provider.
Yes.
I'm lying?
Yes.
All right then. So what's that stability?
But that's all culture. That's how we were raised. That's what we saw in the household.
Okay, let's try again. Your culture is what you're raised in. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so no, that's what I mean. Okay, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Like we want to cater a lot. Most of us learn to cater to our men.
You missed it. You said there's nothing wrong with that. You saying there's nothing wrong with that from a woman's perspective raised in that culture. I'm saying there's absolutely something wrong with that a woman wants to stay home and I got to go work and I'm raised in a different culture. Who's Wait
a minute. So you're saying staying at home is easy?
You missed it.
No. I didn't miss it.
You missed it.
You're saying you go to work, so you don't think staying at home is work.
You missed what I said.
It is hard, and it is work.
It is hard.
About that, I said the principle of the idea. See, stop chasing.
What's the principle of the idea?
The principle of the idea is this: if you are a woman raised in a culture where your ideology is I'm a home provider. I didn't never say if it was easy. I never said any of that. That is your ideology. You are marrying a man for stability. If you're staying home, then he can't fucking stay home. Somebody got to work. So you're marrying for stability.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you have girls? Hold on. Do you have girls?
Hold on.
Do you have girls?
Hold on. The guy.
Do you have girls? What do you tell your girls?
Okay, I'm gonna answer your question.
What do you tell your girls?
Listen,
marry a bum? What do you tell your girls?
You ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
I don't have any girls biologically. I got 4 daughters that I've raised. You know what I tell my daughters? If you think Jarrett is truthful, you have not met me. If you think Jarrett, I am blunt, I get yelled. He tell me I'm too blunt sometimes because I don't know how to sugarcoat shit. So you want to know what I tell my girls? This is what I tell my girls. Get off your fucking ass and go get it yourself. And guess what? Be an independent woman, not a dependent woman. That way, when you meet a partner, if he brings certain things to the table, then it can take certain things off your plate. But if he doesn't, then you are still capable of doing them your goddamn self and you're not relying on him. Because like you said, we all have an expiration date and we don't know when it is. So if you're relying on a man and God forbid, it might have been a perfect relationship and he doesn't come home tonight, then where does that leave you if you've never built anything yourself? So that is what I teach my daughters.
Most women are independent. Most women are working. Most women are providing.
But you missed it. You missed the whole ideology. I asked you one simple question.
I understand what you're saying.
Whose opinion
I'm
is
speaking
right?
to women out there.
Hold on. Whose opinion is right and whose opinion is wrong? If you come from a culture where you are raised, where the man is the provider and the woman is normally the home provider, then in your culture, you guys are looking for stability. In our culture, we're dating women because we're hustlers and we're getting the money and we don't want no ugly ass girl. You crazy? I'm getting all this money. I got all this jewelry. You think I want the fucking Gargamel of the block? I want the finest thing walking. Then we are dating for beauty. You could be the brokest, stupidest, dropped out, no GED. It don't matter. You got the roundy. You looking like Jessica Rabbit. I need it. That's the difference.
So hence why a lot of women are getting their bodies done.
But you missed it. I
didn't miss it. You just said.
But what I asked you very simply was whose ideology is right and whose is wrong. That's what I asked you. It's a very simple question. I have a different perspective on life because I'm raised different. You have a different perspective because you're raised different. I just asked you very simply whose is right and whose is wrong.
I don't think both are right, both are wrong.
Thank
I think it's based on your experience, your circumstance.
Equality. So if you want to have equality, once again, then just understand that I'm telling you it's not equal because the majority of the women out there date for stability. That's the truth of the matter.
And where the equality doesn't come in, because if I'm not stable, right? I'm not that person. I don't even get a shot.
Right. I'm a bum nigga.
Even though we got shots. But guess what? Not long term.
I'm a bum nigga.
You know what it is? Because women don't want to carry a man.
Facts. Let's get to it. So guess what? The work that goes in to be that successful 1% to 2% of black men in America that's making 6-7 figures. It is difficult. It is very hard. We go through the same shit y'all through. We got traumas. We got this. We got racism dealing in the workplace. We still come home and deal with all that shit. We still deal with traumas and generational. We're trying to do a lot, and we still with the pressure, the temptation, all that other shit.
Hold on, Jarrett. You preaching and shit, and because she's a woman of the church, let me give you your music. So it's not a him or her thing. It's about us, right? As a culture. If you're looking at me for that, I gotta work and bust my ass to get to a certain fucking level in life for you to even take me serious. Thank you.
Why not take me serious? But like you said, and then what if I'm the guy who don't have the drive, the ambition? Do I not get that? I get the bottom. Am I treated less of a value of a caliber person? You said the woman to get in the bodies.
No, you're not.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. Let's be honest.
I'm gonna support you.
I don't. Not most women. Not most women.
It was a meme going around, and this is piggybacking what he said. And this is a meme going around. It's actually hilarious. They said, I don't know if you've seen it. They said Jay-Z would have still gotten Beyonce if Jay-Z was Jay-Z and Beyonce was the drive-through chick at like Burger King or some shit. But Beyonce would have never got Jay-Z if Beyonce was Beyonce and Jay-Z was the motherfucker at the drive-through. Correct or not correct?
She would never.
You telling me
you're just
going up for a 6-piece nugget?
Yeah.
Jay and he like, damn, you fine as hell, and you serve nuggets? Let me holler at you. That's what you telling me?
No, you're right.
And there is no equality. Thank you. Then
you're right.
If that's the case, and we're talking about 2 successful billionaires, if that's the case, then it's not equal. All we're saying is this: sometimes we don't even argue. This is what y'all don't understand. We're not even arguing the fact that it's not equal. What we just want you to understand is we understand it's not equal and stop fucking pretending that it is. That's the only thing we're asking. We understand it's not equal when a woman gets pregnant. We understand we don't have the same rights as you, but stop fucking thinking that we think that we believe that it is equal and you're trying to argue us that it is, because you know it's not. You just want to fucking argue for no reason. That's all we ask sometimes. Admit the truth. Let's address the truth and get past it. Stop begging for the fucking truth when you know you can't handle the truth.
So, Chadeo, what's your trauma, Chadeo? What's your trauma?
I got a lot of trauma.
What's your traumas?
Pick a subject, shit. Pick a subject. What could you have trauma in? I probably got it there.
Why are you not married yet?
Because I haven't met the woman that I feel comfortable enough to make a lifelong vow to say, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Because when I get married, and let me take my glasses off. So I'm clear.
Take your glasses off, please.
When I get married, any woman that marries me understands this. So ain't no lying, ain't no fucking representative, ain't none of that shit. You want to marry me? Here's the terms and the conditions. It's to death. is till death. You
T's and C's.
When you fucking make a commitment to me like that, you better know the commitment you making, because there is no backing out. So if you're not ready, then don't make that commitment. So I'm not married because I haven't found a person that I feel comfortable enough to make that kind of commitment to, because I'm not backing out. One of us is going in a box. If I'm telling you what it is, I don't care how you.
Damn!
That's the truth.
He said the box. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm not being funny. I'm
Right.
dead fucking serious. That's my condition. You want to make a lifelong? There is no backing out of a lifelong fucking vow. And I'm not religious, and I don't follow a religious, but I'm spiritual. If you want to make that kind of commitment to me, then I'm gonna hold you to it. It's
So it
for
goes both
better or
ways.
worse. What?
It goes both ways.
I just said I'm not backing out. And if I'm the one that asked, then I clearly could have been married 100 million times already.
And the statistics show that women lead divorces. They go to court and they divorce their marriages more than men.
Thank you.
They did 20 actually.
And guess what, Danny? And I'm military, and I've been to 17 different countries where military niggas marry all these fucking other country women and bring them back because they're subservient and all that. And I didn't do that. And contract marriages in the military is one of the biggest paydays in the fucking military. And I didn't do that for money. And I've dated women that make 3, 4, 5 times more than me that actually was like, listen, you could retire tomorrow. Just be the father that you are. And I'm like, then you don't want the man that I am, because you should know that I'm never laying up like that. You see? See? So let's be clear. But again,
but
Danny,
I think
a lot of y'all don't want to handle that kind of truth. You see, you don't want to handle that kind of truth.
No, I respect it. I respect it. But my thing is, you've been with so many women. So how come you have not met your match yet?
Easy.
You want to take that? No, nothing pause, but you've been with so many women. That's a great assumption. That's a big assumption there.
Hold on.
You've been with so many women.
He said he started young.
Why
Let's
you
do the math.
I expected something like, praise me up or something like.
Yeah, no, I said no. That's a good. But she knows a snipe. Back to the truth. You know snipers when you see something.
Yeah.
Filet mignon look like when you see it, Danny.
No.
You know filet mignon look like some regular
you're a
beef.
sniper, man. You're a sniper. You're a sniper. That's why you wear those fucking chains.
Listen, Danny.
You're looking. You're peeping. You're looking
Listen,
for your
you
next
know the
victim.
difference between filet mignon and regular Walmart motherfucking cow.
Bison. There's a difference between that and bison.
The glaze is different.
Y'all stupid.
Here's the thing, Danny. I'm not being funny, right? I'm not being funny. I'm just a real one. See, me and my cousin are a rare breed. We are a rare breed. Be clear. You think my cousin couldn't be fucking married? You think my cousin couldn't have relation? My cousin can have 52 kids because we're men. We reproduce faster than you. That's a genetic fucking fact. You get pregnant, you're laid up for 9 months. I could get you pregnant today, somebody else pregnant.
You can populate.
As long as I could keep getting it up in a day, I could keep getting bitches pregnant in a day.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm saying to you. When we explain certain things to you, please stop thinking it's the fact that we can't do something. We are choosing. We are using our intelligence and using our choice and say we are choosing not to enter into something. Because here's my thing, Danny, and it's no disrespect to nobody. I'm not being a divorcee. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. Like, I don't know what goes on in nobody else's relationship, and I do not care.
But Jarrett just said sometimes. No, but Jarrett said earlier with his, baby mom or whatever, or wife of his children, like, children's mom. I don't want to say baby mom. I hate saying that. Yeah. That sometimes you could get together and it doesn't work out. So do you stay and bring the trauma to the kids?
See,
but he wasn't married. He was just dating.
Yeah, but for me though, once again, I'll just be honest. I wasn't the one to leave, right? I wasn't perfect, all those other things, but right, I check a lot of the important boxes for me. I check a lot of the important boxes. I'm going to provide. I'm going to help you there spiritually, mentally. I'm going to support our children. I'm going to bust our ass to make sure I'm never going to lead you down no path, right? But there's things about me, right? I am a motherfucking sniper, right? Woo! But guess what? I come home. I've never spent the night out the house. Nobody's hitting your phone up saying da-da-da. Nobody's doing that extra shit. We don't do none of that because guess what? I give that respect because I'm telling the person, anybody I'm dealing with, what the situation is and what it entails. So I don't have that bullshit.
Message.
Oh,
that's just me. That's just me personally. And some women can deal with it and some women cannot. But I'm going to be so real. I'm so self-aware. I know what I want in my life, right? I want a partner that's going to allow me to be me. Because if I'm allowed to be me, guess where I'm going to be able to take us?
Message!
And same with you. And same as you as my partner. If I'm allowing you to be you, you're the best version of you. Why would I want you in the house laid up mad and trying to be a detective? I want you to know.
So it all boils down to respect then.
Respect.
That's it.
Because I love you. If I love you, I got to respect you.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Equality. It all boils down to let's be on the same page. And not you at the top and me on the bottom, or me at the top and you on the bottom. Let's meet in the fucking middle. See, fundamentally, it keeps coming back to the same exact thing. So once again,
but honestly, it's hard. You know what? Honestly, it's hard to have these conversations because
it is.
Like I said, the truth hurts.
Absolutely.
And people will bail out hearing the truth.
Yes.
Because they will interpret it that you don't love me.
Yes.
You're saying those things.
Or you're not enough. Or you're
because if you love me, you will change and you will become this.
No, but why should I have to change who I am as a person?
No,
because
but
I love you.
I'm just saying that's what it
Let's go with that, Danny. If Jarrett changes who he is because he loves you, then you know what? He doesn't love himself because he didn't change to make himself better because he wanted to be a better person to be better for you. And guess what happens when you don't change for yourself? It never fucking lasts.
Baby.
That's the fact. Eventually, he's gonna revert back because he's gonna be unhappy internally because he knows
he's gonna go what's normal for him. What's normal for him. So this is what I mean. Like when you meet men, sometimes you meet the representative because a man is being something that he's not to get you.
That's it.
And I want to tell men right now, just be who you are.
That's it.
That's it.
A woman
be who you are
and
let the woman make the decision.
That's it. That's it.
Women deserve it. That's what the respect. That's why the tough conversation has to be had. You deserve the decision. I'd rather you look at me and say, you know what? He's the real man. He told me I have the decision. Say I was with this. I was down with it. We're gonna do this. And if you do decide this is how we're moving forward, these are my stipulations. This is what I'm cool with. This is what I'm not cool with. Right? And I can move forward with that.
So men have to understand. Give us the choice.
Absolutely.
Give us a choice. And then if a woman decides to stay, then you can't come back later and say he didn't tell you the truth.
Okay. Can we piggyback on that? Then women, here's the equality.
Okay.
I'm down with it. Look,
here's the equality.
Here's the equality. And guess what? It's not going to take us 2 minutes to come to the same page on this because we agree with you. But watch this. Watch me tie it together. When we give you the equality and we come to you with the real, give us the equality. When you get pregnant or something like that, give us 50% of that decision. How about that? When we giving you the equality and letting you know the real might be, I love having sex with you. I don't want to have a baby with you because every relationship should not be the same. Every person that you've ever met, Danny, you have not married. Every man that you've ever met, you have not had a child with. You know why? Because every relationship is different. Some is good for friends. Some is good for hangout. You got a relationship where you just party with people. Some people are just confidants. Some people, you got to back the 40 out on them. It is what it is, right? But guess what, right? This is what we're talking about. So
but guess what? You got but before you even get pregnant, you guys have to have that conversation. What happens in relationship is you don't have that conversation. If I get pregnant and I don't want it, what are we gonna do? Most people don't have that conversation.
But sometimes we're just having fun, and then shit happens.
So Danny, and listen, we're not gonna get too personal, but you can say for a friend, what you're telling me is you've never in the entire time you've been alive, right? Had a one-night stand, just went out, wanted to blow off some steam, met somebody like, God damn, this nigga's wow. I'm sitting.
My kids are watching.
Okay, for a friend. Okay.
She knows somebody that might have done it.
You've never known. Okay, I said for a friend.
Oh no, I know plenty of women that had one-night stand.
That's the answer. Life is lifing. Every day is not a serious situation. Sometimes you're blowing off steam. Sometimes you are so overloaded with your trauma that you don't want to fucking think. You don't want to have life fucking conversations. You want to just go get a drink, dance, feel good, and I'll deal with that shit tomorrow. Some people use drugs. There's a lot of coping mechanisms, right? So all I'm saying to you in the reality is there is no set answer other than that sex doesn't happen on a scripted page sometimes. Sometimes it's just sporadic. It's I'm feeling this way, you feeling this way. I don't even know you. I might not even know your name. But you know what? We both needed it and we got it. That's it.
Did you miss me?
But guess what? You know my name. No, but you might have to be responsible for that child for 21 plus years.
Right. That's the reality.
Hated it.
I'm fucking with you. I'm joking with you. That's funny.
I'm just saying. So now you understand. And we could get past this, but now you understand just what we were saying in general, right? Life is not equal, right? When you want to get on the same page as a culture, well, it starts with the people within the culture, the man and the woman, the man and the man, the woman and the woman. If we don't start having honest conversations with each other, whether we like it or not, you got to pick a side of the fence. Stop straddling the fence. Either you want honesty or you don't. So if you want honesty, here's honesty. I just want to knock you down. I don't want to be your husband. I don't want to take you grocery shopping. I'm not buying you no Birkin bags. I'm none of that shit. I just want to bust them cheeks and we out here. Take it or leave it.
So
right?
men need to just say what they want. Men
Yes.
need to say their intention.
Guess what? Women too.
Without the roses.
But guess what? Women too, because I listen. Don't get it twisted.
No,
women out there that approach men on a regular basis, like, yo, listen, I don't want to be with you. I just want to take it down real quick. Am I lying, Jarrett?
Absolutely. Or even on a similar level, look at us right now, right? So for instance, any women I deal with now, I gotta look at: do you want me for me, or do you want me for what I can be?
Bing bong, bing
That's
bong.
Real.
Are you looking at me, Jarrett, the person sitting on the couch? Or are you looking at my LinkedIn that I got millions of impressions? Are you looking at the fact that I'm now a business owner, Jarrett? Because remember, when I was in BBQ smelling like ribs, you didn't want to holler. Oh, so watch this, Danny. Watch this. I know you're going to get mad, but I got to throw this at you. So don't get mad at men. Let's say Jarrett wanted to holler at Tammy. Tammy didn't want Jarrett when Jarrett was smelling like ribs, but now Jarrett owns his own company. Now Jarrett's on his way to being a millionaire. Now Jarrett's on TV and all this other shit. And here come Tammy. Hi, big head. You know what Jarrett gonna say? I don't want you, but you owe me some because you should have gave me some when I was smelling like ribs. Take it down because you owe it to you owe me that, Tammy. But then I don't want to be with you because I know it's phony.
Yo, but you're not even telling Tammy that though. Are you honestly gonna
probably
tell
won't?
Tammy you
Like,
owe me that?
He probably don't.
I would tell Tammy.
I'm just saying. But watch this. Even if he didn't tell Tammy, you think he don't know why Tammy's sniffing around now?
There's a reason. Everybody, let's be honest. Everybody's in and deals with somebody for a reason.
It is.
We know it. We know it. So, because he doesn't look like a diamond in the rough anymore. He looks like a polished, more attractive. I mean, money makes you look good.
Oh, she
look like we getting money out here.
Getting money.
We getting money out.
Niggas are successful.
Yeah.
Let me do the Denzel. Get my eyebrows like Denzel.
Wow.
The money make you look successful. Let me get them eyebrows right. All right.
But let me just tell you something. You know what? I know we want to blame women for stability, but like in our culture, we all come from the struggle. So we all look at other races and see how they're being treated by the men that's making money, and we want to feel that way too. Right. So it comes from a place of just trauma also, because we don't want to live a struggle life forever. Okay? You understand? So it's not that we're using you for your money, but we want to have what our other counterparts are having.
As we should. And that's what these conversations need to be had.
Shopping, family.
And you deserve it.
You deserve it.
As that's what I'm saying. So I don't want men to think that we're using you guys, because some women are using, but most women just want that life because we all come from struggle.
So can I ask you a question again? Like, again, I'm with you 100%. I'm not arguing, but here, it's not a woman thing. It's a human being. You think men don't want to live good? You think men don't want a nice car? You think we don't look at other cultures and be like, fuck, bro, I'd love to live in a big ass house like that too. It's not a woman thing. It's a human being thing. And once again, we're not even mad. If you realize what has happened in society, the black man, especially the wealthy black man, have already acknowledged the fact that what they can provide is going to get the woman they want. And now I get to choose what woman I want because I'm successful and I have my pick of the litter. We've accepted that. What you guys haven't accepted is the reverse, where we're just saying, stop lying to yourself where you're acting like that's not what the situation is. Because if it was reversed, then I'm not saying it could never happen, but statistically, the number of people that black poor men get with black successful women is nowhere near in comparison from black women that get with black successful men. That's just it. We accept it.
And we have successful women on the show, and we have this conversation. We say, is it hard for you to date now that you're a successful C-suite woman? And you know what? Each one of them, for better or worse, most of them are single, majority.
Yep.
and say it's difficult to date.
Yep.
It's
Because
difficult.
they're not going to find the brother at BBQs. It's hard to find that man at the same level with your same morals. And when you bring something to the table, the shit that I was talking about earlier, that's not going to fly.
But
No,
you know
you're
why
right.
they find you at BBQs, Jay? Because they make that much money and they're not going to be at fucking BBQs. How about that? They have Philippe Chow's and shit. They have fucking, you understand, these high-end restaurants.
Yeah, we're going
where the waiters don't look like
sure.
us.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
But you know what? When we're at these high-end restaurants, sometimes we don't see people that look like us either.
I just said that.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You're not gonna have waiters that look like Jarrett with braids and fucking, of course, and Philippe and all these high-end restaurants. You think you're gonna have a fucking guy from the hood with cornrows?
Even if I was the cook, whatever it is, you feel me? It's just what it is. You know what I'm trying to say? It's hard to find somebody on that same level with you, right? And that person on either level, like me personally, I wouldn't give a fuck. I would be Stedman in a heartbeat.
Right.
For Oak, I'll be Stedman in a heartbeat. Whatever it is, this and the third. But the problem is when it's the roles reversed and I'm the person on this, can I lead? Can I do this? Can I do what I need?
So what can we do as a culture to make men and women on the same page?
Have real
so we can start having the strong Black family again. So we can start having generational of that. Like
real conversations, Queen. We need to be honest with each other and stop trying to fucking get over on each other. That's the real. We got to stop trying. You got to try to one up on me. I'm trying to one up on you. Fuck all that shit. Like, let's get together and figure it out, right? And guess what? When the tough gets going, let's stay the fuck together. Or if not, we can't. Let's make sure we exhaust every avenue or resource to make sure we try. That's it.
And I'm gonna say this to the young kids out there too, especially Black men. You're gonna have to strap it up because I feel that child support does ruin your chances because now you have to take care of a child, and now when you're getting paid, 17% is coming out. 2 kids, 25% is coming out. 3 kids, 27% is coming out. And that's before you even get to use the money yourself. Yeah. So everyone has to start taking responsibility because if you have dreams and stuff, you are now 27% less of what you're making. And that.
Yeah. And wait, can I piggyback? And please, Black women, stop using the system to fucking weaponize against Black men as well, right? Child supports and stuff like that. You know how many brothers, you know what? We have a running statement, say in the barbershops and shit like that. When I was going to court for my child, and I'm a great father. You know who I saw in the courts? Other great fathers. It wasn't Pookie, who was a piece of shit that was beating on his wife and all that shit and the kid. It was the great father that's working 2 fucking jobs trying to do it. And now our relationship didn't work up. You with somebody else. And now you coming for my check. I got limited visitation rights, all that other shit. And that fucking kills the Black family. Stop getting the man involved with our community.
But child support was set up for deadbeats. The ones that didn't want to be a father, the ones that you got to chase around for them to even help your kid. Child support was not meant to, I want revenge. I want to get you back. I'm going to make you suffer. If he's a good father and he's there for his kids and whatever he can provide, then that should be enough, right? Remember, so Danny, I understand that some women do weaponize the system in like revenge.
Everything. Remember what I told you, right? You cannot have the good without the bad.
Yep.
Child support was designed for one thing, but people learned how to use it another way, right? How many herbs are nature's design for healing that we now use for drugs? How about this? The welfare system wasn't designed for people to be on welfare forever and live.
No.
It was designed to help you out, give you a step up, help you and get off. So once again, we keep coming back to the same thing, right? It is the balance. It is the good and the bad, and just understanding how to navigate through it, right? So with that being said, you navigated through it, right? You navigated through it, and we've been talking about trauma. So now let's get right into now. You came up in high school because we're coming up on time. We got about another half hour to go.
Okay.
You went through high school and things of that nature. You got the support system. Obviously, you graduated high school. Walk us through your high school steps before you decided between being a worker and you wanting to become an entrepreneur. What did that look like?
My high school steps. I mean, well, my parents, we moved to the suburbs, so okay. Suburbs is not like the city.
Okay.
But what happened was, what the suburb taught us is how to grind even harder.
Okay.
There's no transportation. You had to take. Do you understand what I mean? It's not like
Right.
everything is accessible.
Yeah.
So and it's not like everyone is around you. It's not like it's a community, but everyone's it's further away from each other. It's not like you live in a building and stuff like that. So I got my first job at 16 flipping pretzels.
Okay.
And I got fired, and it was the best thing that could ever happen to me.
Okay.
Because I need people to understand, when you get fired, sometimes it's only because that door is closing for another door to open up.
Facts.
Don't take it as like woe is me. It's the universe telling you don't belong here, so you need to go open up another door where you belong.
Okay. And
that's what happened with me. I started working at a clothing company, and then I graduated, went to NYU, and what I learned at NYU is NYU taught me, and our group, is not what you know, is who you know.
Okay.
And that's when my journey started, because what happened was, when we were there, they gave us like a piece of paper and said, in 4 years, you got to meet 2,000 people. And if you don't meet 2,000 people, you're going to be a failure. So what happened with us was, they said to us, it doesn't matter what you learn, it's who you know, because whoever you know is going to grab you, is going to pull you, is going to get you in. And that's when my networking started. My put it in is because of my networking. Your network is your net worth. And that is true, true, true. You need to be in it. You need to be networking. You need to be meeting people, because other people are in other circles that you don't know about. But if you build those relationships, they start pulling you in. So that is what happened. So I went to NYU. My first job was, I had a journalism degree. I worked at Eyewitness News, ABC. I worked 2 a.m. to 1 o'clock in the afternoon for like 3 years. Wow. But people have to understand, you have to work from the bottom and work your way up. That's how it works. But I got that job because I tell kids all the time, you have to intern. An intern sometimes is for free, but it's more about the relationship you're getting versus the monetary funds. A lot of people don't understand. I will intern to be in the room. If I'm going to be in a room with Jay-Z, I will work for Jay-Z for free, just because I'd rather learn the inter circles of how this company became $1 billion company than me telling Jay-Z, well, I ain't working for you unless you pay me. So a lot of people need to understand that sometimes you might do things for free, but what you get is the valuable relationships that you will have for a lifetime. That is more than any money could ever provide for you, because those circles will open up other circles.
Facts.
Okay.
Real quick on that note,
we gotta pay some bills. We'll be right back.
Know how to build relationships just like Danny. You can scan this QR code and go to otbdigital.com and make sure you download the How to Build Relationships and Revenue course. This is what we preach day in and day out. Your network is your net worth, right? Like Danny said, you build relationships. Not what you know is who you know, right? But guess what? How do you get to those people? We give you our formula step by step on how to reach those people, build a personal brand so you can get those relationships and actually change your lifestyle. Yeah. All right, back to you.
Oh wow. I can't wait to read the book.
You know what I'm saying? It's about 80-page courses about, examples and how the algorithms work, all that shit.
No, but that is a secret. So you got to be out there. And like another thing I do is, when I go out to events, it has to be return on investment.
For sure.
I don't just go to party. Do you understand what I mean?
Quick question. How do you calculate that though? How do you calculate the ROI of the networking events? Just curious.
Because I do go out like with my friends and have a good time.
Of course.
But when I go to an event, I go there as return on investment. I'm going there to meet people, talk to people, see how what's in it for me, what's in it for you. Because it's a symbiotic relationship. It's not just about me. It's also about what I can offer you, what I can do for you also. So a lot of people need to understand that. Everyone is sometimes on this me thing, but it has to be a relationship where we give and take. Like, what are you gonna do for me if I do this? It's like quid pro quo in a way that is of course legal, but meaning like, what I offer you, this is what I can offer you if you offer me. Meaning like it's a relationship that goes back and forth. It's transactional, basically.
Absolutely. Two-way street.
So it's a two-way street. People need to understand that.
Plain and simple. This is a system that was put in place before money was actual money. It's the barter system. Plain and simple. I help you, you help me. Let's help each other. That's it. It's the barter system. Nothing wrong with that.
The most simplest system in the world. It started like hundreds of years ago. Like, you know, you marry my daughter, I'll give you this.
Yes.
You know, I'll give you the cow. You marry my daughter. It's life is transactional.
Yes.
And so when you, for return on investment, when you go to these events, if you have like a purpose, you're going there to meet people because you want to further your purpose, right? You're exchanging cards, you're building a relationship because that person might have met someone that you need to meet, but you didn't meet that person yet. So now that person is the person in the middle that's going to introduce you to that person.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's important to be out there, you know, and not be just behind the screen on your phone all day long. You need to go out there and talk, communicate. You need to sell yourself. You need people to know I'm here, not only behind your phone, but actually in the present. So with that when that happened, I started working at Ralph Lauren as his publicist. Best experience in the world. Got to meet a lot of people. It was just, I was a token. You know, a token means that I was the only Black person in the department.
Yep.
You know, and it's a lot. It's sometimes it's better now than it was with DEI. Now it's better now than it was before.
Yeah.
You know, but Ralph Lauren was cool as fuck. I went in there and yeah, there might have been some racism, but that ain't gonna stop me. I'm a pivot. Understand this in life, just like any sports, there's always gonna be an opposing team. Even when you play golf, even if you're playing really by yourself, you're still playing with other people. Always understand you gotta be ready to pivot. Not everyone is gonna say yes to you. Not everyone's gonna understand you. Not everyone's gonna be on your side. But you got to learn to pivot. When someone says no, okay, go around that person and find another way. There's always another way. There's always a plan B. There's no like straight line to get to something. If you got to go curvy, you go curvy. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but you will make your dreams come true. It's about building a relationship, working hard, grinding, being consistent, being disciplined. Like taking your ass home when you know you have a meeting the next day and not partying, you know, and being responsible.
That's it.
You gotta be responsible of your image. Your brand is you. You are your brand. When you walk around, you're a walking poster. And you have to hold on to your reputation because people gossip, unfortunately. So don't do things that people are going to gossip about you that you're not gonna like to hear come back to you.
Yeah, I would also say to piggyback off the network and build a relationship, y'all. Some people are so like you said, the straight line approach where, hey, I have to meet somebody a certain way. It has to be a specific, has to be introduction, anything like that. I can't tell you guys how many people that me and Cuzzo meet just being organic and being genuine. We'll go to an event like how we had one of our biggest interviews to date, right? We're sitting at a birthday event. A young lady's taking a picture by herself. We just jump in the photo. We just jump in the photo being us. Like the little voice in it, just go over there right now. And we, what's up? We end up exchanging information, go to an event. Guess what? We go to the event. We see the person we interviewed. Shout out to our brother Champ. We see a bunch of other celebrities there. We saw our brother Peter Quillen. Shout out to Quillen. He's coming on the show back next week, like middleweight champion. And we build those relationships. Sometimes just be genuine, be yourself. Try to be yourself. Be yourself. Be memorable.
Not sometimes, Jarrett.
All the time. We just be us. We lead with love. Like, so is no, like, yes, would I love to have a relationship with this millionaire? Absolutely, right? But the best advice I've gotten, and this is from Paxton Baker, he said this on the show, and he's like I said, chairman of the Nationals. He said, I said, how do you establish all these relationships with these big people? Be the friend that you want to have. And that's the realest shit ever. Just be the friend that you want to have. Don't gatekeep. Be how you want to be. I'm going to do because I want to do. And I would hope it be reciprocated, but it's not based on you reciprocating.
And you know what? The gatekeeping thing, we could talk about that. I feel like what's for you is for you.
That's it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You spreading love and helping other people's is not going to stop you from where you got to be.
That's it.
And it moves the culture forward when you don't gatekeep, right? But I know, like, you know, I spoke to someone about this. We just feel like there's a power of what people just feel like there's only one spot. But now these days, I feel like we're creating like the more spots, right? We're creating because they can't just be one Jay-Z. There has to be many of Jay-Z's, right?
Absolutely.
They can't just be one Beyonce's. There have to be many of Beyonce's. So we have to stop with there can only be one. There can only be one Tiger Woods. No, open the opportunities to everyone. And maybe I can't be Tiger Woods, but maybe me not gatekeeping, the person next to me could be a Tiger Woods. Why would I be mad at that? Why? Because maybe that was my purpose. My purpose was to meet this person, to meet that person. You don't know what your purpose is in life, right? You could just be the connector. You could be the plug. You still have a purpose.
Clarence Avant was the plug, had a stupendous career from being the plug. That's real, man.
Look at that, yo. Look at that. So what I'm trying to say is, after that, got into pharmaceuticals the legal way. Well, sometimes.
Hit you with the. You get a Frank Lucas for that. You get a Frank Lucas.
Hold on, you said you was from Brooklyn.
Well, you know what? It's legal because you know what's so funny? It's legal because the government says it's legal. Just like marijuana. It wasn't legal 20 years ago, but now the government says it's okay. Now it's legal.
Gotcha.
Damn right.
That's crazy.
Pharmaceuticals, go ahead.
It's based on what the government said. And then you know what? I did meet a guy who, who I had more than he. You know what I mean? And I did help, build a company. I believed in him, helped him build the company. So I'm not one of those girls that was looking for someone to support me, because I was able to support myself. So I was the girl that was looking to help someone else. Okay. Like, be a partner with someone else. Right. And then I had two beautiful children, my twin girls. And then my purpose became, unfortunately we separated, but because I felt that it would be good for us to co-parent versus being together.
Okay.
Right. Because, sometimes in life, look, I want to be like you, Chadeo. I wanted it to be forever. But sometimes we have to think about, what's best for the kids. Do you want your kids to be in this trauma all the time? Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there were good times and there were bad times, but it was best for us to separate. We co-parent very well. People are just in awe, but it's because I personally love my children and I feel that a father should be in their life. Right. And there's no way that I'm going to get in the middle of that, because I had a father. So I want to make sure that my girls has a father too. Right. So no matter what animosity we might have with each other, if we do or if we don't, I don't know. I don't. I'm putting my babies first because I want them to have the healthiest of upbringing possible, because our traumas with each other, like mom and dad, is not their fault. Okay. So they shouldn't be in the middle of it. Right. Yeah. So I think as a culture, we should do a better job in co-parenting.
Absolutely. Let's stop right there. Don't go any further. Let me ask you this one question. As now, not 19-year-old Danni, not 7-year-old Danni taking care of her kids, right? As grown woman, entrepreneur Danni, mother Danni, do you see how many progressions in life that you've gone through? Your priorities at age 7 were not your priorities at age 14, at 21, at 31. You see how you've grown, and you're allowed to want different things at different stages in your life. What we're not realizing as human beings, and I'm not saying nothing against marriage, but just look at what marriage is. A lot of people back in the day when marriage was actually created, listen to what you said. Marriage was transactional. And even to this day, technically, marriage is a business of marriage.
It's a business.
It's a business of marriage. Okay, so let's talk about it still being fucking transactional.
It's a business.
So how about this? If you truly understand yourself and truly understand that every single human being develops at a certain stage, doesn't matter. We all develop and want different things. How could you possibly say to another human being at whatever stage in life, especially young, early 20s, when you don't even know yourself, maybe younger than that, I want to be with you for the rest of my life, when you don't even know who you are going to be for the rest of your life? So realistically, it's to say you're going to grow. Whoever you're with is going to grow. The problem is if you don't grow together, and I'm not talking about following the same path. I'm just talking about a like-mindedness. If you don't grow with the same vision of where we should grow together, then you will eventually grow apart. That is any relationship.
That's a fact.
When we talk about marriage and what marriage actually is, if you actually wanted to sit down and have an intelligent conversation, say, who the fuck created this thing? Because why would you create first of all, we don't last forever as human beings. How about that? You cannot be in a relationship that lasts forever because you don't last forever. So how can you make a commitment to somebody to be with them forever when you don't even last forever? That doesn't even make fundamentals. That doesn't even make sense. How can you commit to somebody that you're gonna be there for better or worse? You don't know what better or worse is. You don't know what sickness and health. You don't know how you're gonna react to anything.
Exactly.
No.
So you make this commitment technically on a false pretense, thinking you can handle something that you have never experienced. You're setting yourself up initially for failure. Instead, get with a person, date a person, learn a person, let them learn you. You can move in together, learn each other.
And like Jarrett said, I think the missing component in my marriage was at first he was keeping it real. He was telling the truth.
Okay.
And we were best friends.
Okay.
Right?
But there's an echo.
And I think it's when, like Jarrett says, it's when the lies started. You know what I mean? Like trying to protect my feelings, but then not really being like not being truthful. That and the respect aspect.
Okay.
Like if you're married to someone, you have to respect them.
But wait, how long were you married? How many years?
10 years.
Okay, perfect. That's perfect. You were married a decade. Once again, you started out, let's say 20-year-old Danny. You said it was dope. We were best friends at 20 to 23 because whatever he was, y'all was still the early stages. But once again, as you start to mature together, as you start to mature in life separately, things start to change. That's all I'm saying to you, right?
Yeah.
No relationship is perfect, Danny. All I'm saying is this. You can still have a phenomenal relationship with somebody as a co-parent and never make a commitment to them to be married. You say, listen, I think we're dope together. I think we could have a dope family together, but it doesn't mean that we have to get married.
And it doesn't mean you can have a commitment.
That's it.
You don't. Marriage is a choice. You don't have to get married.
There you go.
That's it.
You don't
make a commitment to me to be a dope father. I'll make a commitment
to
me
to
be
me,
a dope mother.
Father to
right, and that's
kids.
it. That's it.
Because it's cheaper
Still
to get
family.
into the marriage.
Still a family.
No,
Still
it's cheaper to get into the marriage, and it's more expensive to get out of the marriage.
Absolutely, because it's a business transaction.
It's a business.
Right.
Like even if I want to separate, now the courts have to get involved, and I have to legally divorce. So it is a business.
No. You can't say that. Because technically you wasn't legally married until the courts got involved. So you can't say, well, the courts have to get involved to unmarry us. Because
well, you know what it is? You just can't go to church and get married. You have to have a marriage license. So you have to go to the courts first.
That's what I'm saying. No. So that's why I said that. You can't say, again, on the back end, for me to get divorced, now the courts have to get involved, because for you to get married, the courts have to get involved. So they were involved. So right off the bat, you're in. What did Jarrett say? What did I say? If you're with a girl sees a guy, she might have certain thoughts about her, right? But if she's around her girlfriend, the influences of her girlfriends weigh down on her. If you married a man and said, listen, we're married in our union, fuck what the court say. I made a commitment to you and you made a commitment to me as human beings. That's all you fucking need. The moment you allow the court to legalize you or make you a business, you allow their influence to now delegate how your marriage is run, because that's what you allow. What does the pastor say? Only allow God in your marriage, right? Right? Respect your partner and God. Only allow God and your partner, because he's saying to you, don't allow other influences that don't have nothing to do with your day-to-day, that only see your side when Danny say, oh, fuck this dude, and my side when I say, oh, fuck Danny. No, because nobody knows what goes on truly but you and that person, right? So have the commitment with you and that person. Fuck the court. You don't need that piece of paper. You can still live life together, build together, have children together. I have no families.
But you know why? Why? Because when you file your taxes, another court document, another document, government document, you can't file jointly unless you are married.
Guess what? I can be married to you and still file single.
Think about this. They give you more money if you file jointly. It's like a trick. It's like, do you understand? They basically want you to be married, and they give you more money if you're married.
Right? Why?
Because it's part of the whole system of it's a business.
So they give you more money because you're married, right? Because
joint.
Watch, because you're married, so we're gonna give you more money now, and if and when you get divorced, we're gonna end up taking all that money back, because you're gonna hire so many people. You're gonna give so many people jobs, lawyers and judges and stenographers, and so many people are gonna get paid because just one person gets divorced. You're gonna hire 15 fucking people. So we're gonna give it to you now and take it back from you later. Follow the carrot. You understand now? Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Because
that's insane. I believe I you know what? commitments, but you got to meet a serious person, because a commitment doesn't mean that you got to have an understanding. What I tell people all the time is your relationship is what you both make it out to be.
That's it.
There's no like book like you read and say this is what it is. It's
Correct.
what you guys agree on of what is going to make our relationship work.
Correct.
And if it works for us, who gives a damn what other people say, how they feel?
Right.
Because it's all about just it working for us. So
Correct.
I want everyone to define their relationship, whatever works. It doesn't have to be the norm. It doesn't have to be what you see every day on TV. It just has to be make sure that you guys, it just works for you guys. And that's all that matters.
And guess what? I'm with you 200%. No arguing, no fussing. The only thing I'm going to add to that is just understand that as you evolve, your commitment must evolve. As you evolve, your understanding must evolve.
So
And
you
that's
gotta have check-ins. You gotta have check-ins. You check in.
That's it.
You have those honest conversations and you keep checking in to make sure you guys, you're growing, but the way you grow together is constantly checking in.
That's it. I'm with it.
You constantly got to review the commitments that you guys made. Okay, we need to review this. Like it's like an annual review. I call it an annual review. Every relationship should have an annual review.
Yeah.
What I like, what I didn't like, what I want to keep, what I want to drop. If you keep having an annual review, your relationship will be together.
I like it.
It's when you don't have the annual reviews.
I like it.
People are making assumptions.
I can get with that.
Communication.
I like it. I like it.
People break apart.
No
So
argument.
so commitments are a business too, because you should have annual reviews.
I'm with it.
I can absolutely get with that.
I'm with it. But guess what? Once again, just understand the honesty has to be taken into accountability, and the emotional aspect of understanding what the honesty truly is as just honesty and not an attack, must be taken into point of view. So if I say to you, like, yo, listen, we got together, Danny, and it was good, but now that you done got comfortable with me, you ain't busting it open like you used to.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a problem for me.
How you keep them is how you met them.
Message.
Yeah. Right.
Yo, like you can't say, oh, you love me just the way. No, it's like the way I met you is how you got to keep yourself.
Right. There it is.
You can't fall out on yourself. You just can't, because then you break the contract.
There it is. I'm with it.
You break the commitment because we agreed that you're going to be like this. Then you have to do your best to stay like this. Because if I'm attracted to you like this, does not mean I'm going to be attracted to you if you're 20 pounds. You're breaking the contract now.
Yep.
And it's not fair for you to tell me that I should be okay with it. And if you love me, you should accept me for who I am. But that's not part of the contract deal that we had. So you have to always have self-care, especially women.
Well, technically, women inadvertently break the rules, because if you get pregnant, you gain 30 pounds. I didn't meet you like that. And then if your body doesn't go back to the way I met you, technically you broke the contract.
Break a contract, but it's
no, I know what you said. I know what you said.
But you know what you have to do though? You gotta go to the gym.
I know what you said. Now that was just me fucking with you. But I understand. I'm with you 100%.
No, I know, but you know what it is? What happens with us? Yeah. Once we have the babies, we kind of fall out a little bit. Right. And we gotta stop doing that.
Gotta get that snap back.
We as close as possible.
Right.
Not because what happens is if you don't get the snap back, then you just gain more weight and more weight and more weight. And look, I'm not weight shaming anyone. Yeah. Because sometimes it's genetics, but you got to make sure your man is attracted to you.
So that's the check-in, because I might like the extra weight. I might be like, hold on now.
Hold on.
That's your 110. You about 135 looking
right.
Yeah.
And now when you're 235.
Yeah, no way.
What is your weight requirement? 235? 235?
It's nuts.
What is your weight requirement?
What is your weight requirement?
What's your weight?
I like them thicker than
a Snicker. You did tell me months.
You heard what he said?
I like them thicker than a Snicker. You know what I'm trying to say? I like them with a little, you know what I'm saying? 180, 190, a little too. I like the Melvin around the pot.
Well, what Redman said.
So we can have a little rolls, right? We can have a little rolls.
A little
not the Texas Roadhouse rolls. It's got to be a little, just maybe one.
Cat is like, well, I don't know about the rolls.
Yeah, you gone too far. I like them thick, but not no rolls.
Again, listen, I'm with you, Danny. Like, be clear. I'm a gym rat. You understand? Like, I've been working out since like 7-8 years old. I got a fitness company. I put myself up. here's the thing, and I'm not being funny, right?
As the gun's gunning.
Jarrett, you fit this vibe too.
The gun is definitely. You see the shoulders popping out of the shirt. Listen, here's my thing, and I'm not being funny, right? Again, I believe in leading by example. I lead by example, right? Before I knew what woman I wanted in my life, I looked at myself and seen where I was at. So then I made it says, okay, this is what I want out of life. And then I looked and said, let's say I wanted a Beyonce. I'm like, how the fuck am I ever going to meet Beyonce? I'm just saying, right? How the fuck am I ever going to meet her? So once I realized what kind of woman I wanted, I turned myself into the man that could be in position to even be in the same room with this woman and then have the conversation, et cetera, et cetera. So I believe in leading by example, right? I don't believe in, again, leaving things to too much chance and being dependent. For example, like Jarrett will tell you, all the men in our family cook, and I mean cook. I'm not talking about heat up no fucking eggs. I'm talking about we be having battle offs for Thanksgiving. We be sending each other pictures. Nigga, your yams don't look like this. Your lobster tails they come out like. So be clear. I'll bring my son down right now, and he'll tell you verbatim every Sunday when I got my boys this cooking Sunday. I taught them how to cook from young boy, cooking, cleaning. You understand? Again, I lead by example. So before I can ask you to have a nice body, I make sure my body is nice. You dig me? Before I can ask you to have a good job, I've had a good job for a certain amount of years. Before I can ask you to have a good car, I always got exotics, and I've always lived on my own. So I became the person that I wanted to meet. Like Jarrett said, become the friend that you want to be. So I'm completely different, right? I don't have roles. You understand? Not because I couldn't, because I choose not to, because I get up and go to the fucking gym every day or every other day. And sometimes I slack off, but I still eat healthy. I meal prep. I do the things necessary to keep myself looking a certain way. You can look at pictures from me 20, 25 years ago, and I look the exact same way I look right now. Sometimes I just have a little bit more muscle density, but I look exactly the way I've been this consistent for 30 fucking years. That's not by chance. It's because I keep putting in the work for it.
So basically you're saying that you want that in your woman.
That's a fact. I'm not doing it because I want it in myself. Yeah, I want it in myself, but I want that in my woman too. So again,
discipline.
It's a leeway, but again, it's not just the fitness, it's everything again I bring to the table. I cook, I clean, I keep a clean house. I got my own fucking house. This is my house. You understand? It's certain things I've already set up. So when I meet you and you go, what do you bring it to the table? I go, the fucking table and the house that the table is inside of. And then, you understand what I'm saying? Right. But guess what? But now I don't have stupid ass conversations. Like these girls are like, oh, I would never go and I would never fuck with you because you're a moron. You see the difference now? So when we were hustling and we were getting fast money, we were chasing pretty women. The moment we developed intelligence and realized, yeah, she's pretty, but she's a fucking moron. Right? She's not about nothing. The more intelligent we get as we climb the ladder, the less bullshit we're going to tolerate now. Now we want somebody truly on the level. And when you come with that bullshit, we're going to dismiss your ass. Or we're going to bust your ass and then about your way. Because why the fuck would I work this hard just to give it to you just because you fucking cute? Cuteness fades. Beauty fades. Right? And for men and women, just like women mature faster than men normally date younger women anyway. So it's always a younger version of you walking around, they being every day. So you understand what I'm saying? So
I understand what you're saying.
So again, right?
That's why, ladies, we need to make sure we take care of ourselves before we ask a man what he's bringing to the table. Make sure you're bringing competitively shit to the table too.
That's a fact.
Not just I'm bringing myself. No, you need to equal what he's bringing to the table, or even more, or getting there. Yep. Like potential wise, like you can't just want a man to just say what are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table? Because now we're in a society is like, okay, what are you bringing to the table? It goes both. It goes both ways because you can weigh each other. You know what it is. You can weigh each other down. You can weigh each other down.
I don't have. If somebody comes to me and says, "What are you bringing to the table?" Goodbye. I walk away because everybody shows me where you are mentally, and I don't even want to have a conversation with you. I'm just being honest with you. The first time I even get a sense of you saying some, what do you bring to the? What? Have a good day. Because I already know mentally we're not on the same.
But honestly, I've never approached a person or a man and said, "What do you bring to the table?"
Not you.
No, I'm just saying that. I don't even know why we even having those conversations.
You know why?
What do we bring to the table?
Because society, where it stands right now, is the majority of the men are making the money. Now women are starting to make money, but the majority of the men are making money, and the majority of the women are beautifying themselves, right? And we know the process of beautifying yourself, right? Okay, so now once again, it keeps reinforcing the status of success versus beauty, right? So when women say, well, what are you bringing to the table? It's them trying to say, yeah, I'm beautiful, but I'm valid. We never said you wasn't valid. We're just saying you're using this type of situation to date this way, and then you don't want it to be that way. Just pick a side and stay there. That's all we're saying. Pick a side and stay there, right? So I commend you. Be clear. I commend you for being the anomaly. You said, I got with a guy that didn't have as much as I have. That's it. It doesn't matter how much. It doesn't matter. You were the breadwinner at that time, and he didn't have as much as you, which makes you the Jay-Z and the Beyonce story. You were the Beyonce dating the Jay-Z, and I commend you on being the anomaly. All our conversations is just for the culture, and the culture in general, you are an anomaly. You are an anomaly. It's not many women that would have done what you've done. Now, guess what? You can say, well, it didn't really work out for me, whatever the case, right? But then you're going to turn around and say, I love my daughters, though, right? So you see, that's straddling the fence. Yeah, it didn't work out for you relationship-wise, but only him could have gave you those girls in the time that you got pregnant in those forms. You see, anybody else, you would not have got those girls in that. So if you love your daughters, that's your ROI.
Yeah, no, I love my.
See what I'm saying?
So, I can't have any, like, I honestly, to regret means I regret my kids.
Right.
Yeah, no,
absolutely. Right. Absolutely.
So when people say I regret being with someone and they got seeds, I'm like, whoa, because that means you would change, everything would be changed and you wouldn't have the seed right here.
There you go.
So everything was supposed to happen the way it's supposed to hain as you got to understand how the universe works. Everything, your life was already written before you were born.
I believe that. It
was already written, so there shouldn't be no regret. Because once you regret like one little thing, then it changes the whole thing. Yeah. So so if there's certain parts of your life that you love, then understand that if you regret one thing, those parts might not even exist.
It's a fact.
Absolutely.
That's a fact.
So for me to say I regret, I can't really say that because that means there's great parts of my life, great things that's happened to me that wouldn't have happened if I had it happen another way. I don't know how the other way would have happened, but I wouldn't take anything back.
So that ties us back into what I said to you earlier, Danny. Learn life from experience. You got to have the good and the bad to make you the Danny that you are today. Absolutely. And the Danny that you are today, the balance is the mom Danny, the Danny that's experienced, the Danny that has dealt with the trauma and found constructive ways to get past it. So now let's talk about I'm Proud of You Sis. Talk to us about I'm Proud of You Sis. What's that about?
Well, I'm Proud of You Sis came because I was in a place of trauma.
Okay.
See, the thing with Black women is we're always expected to be strong, but I was like in a week, I'm admitted, I was like I was in bad shape, bad depression, basically trying to get over the situation of separating with my significant other. So I wasn't looking my best and I had to take care of these two babies. So I basically had to tell myself in the mirror, I'm proud of you, sis, to get out of my depression.
Wow.
Because I had to say it because
I love that.
However, even though we weren't together, I was responsible for these kids to not have my trauma.
Okay.
Do you understand? Like, you know how they say, like a happy home, if a mom is not happy at home, the kids suffer.
Yep.
So I needed to get myself out of this depression so my kids would get the best of me.
Yep.
Instead of like living with the worst of me.
Yep.
Because that's not fair to them. They're only kids once, right? So I came with I'm Proud of You Sis because two things I noticed. When I said it to my kids, they got a glow. And I realized something about women. Men congratulate each other. It's tried and true. But something happens with women where we start becoming mean girls to each other.
Okay.
We start being competitive with each other and we don't really congratulate each other.
Okay. So
I'm Proud of You Sis was a way of me telling any woman, any walk of life that I see you, I value you, I respect your journey, whatever choices you made is not for me to judge. And I'm just proud of you. I'm proud of you. So I wanted it to be the new thing that we say to women, to each other, so it can break down the barriers and the wall that we have around each other.
Message.
I love it.
Because we do have a wall that needs to be broken because I love hanging out with men more sometimes because I love you guys' camaraderie. You walk into a barbershop, what's up? Like it's always like trying to build each other up, right? I mean, some people might be a little bit competitive, but you're still trying to build each other up. When it comes to women, sometimes I feel like we can do that more for each other, even though we're strangers. Because you could walk somewhere and you guys are still giving pounds, whether you know the person or not. When you walk in a room with women, it's like everyone kind of just stares at each other.
Especially pretty girls. It's a pretty girl contest. With them stilettos and them legs and them lashes. You know the silent pretty girl contest? You know the silent pretty girl contest. Bunch of pretty girls in the room and another pretty bitch. Like,
so what happens is men, we don't dress for men. I think we dress for other women.
That's a fact. Y'all dress for each other. We know that.
We dress for each other. Like men think it's about them. It's really about us looking fly because we know the next fly chick gonna be walking in, so we gotta be on point.
That's it.
Because it's competitive. There's not that many men for us to grab to. So it's competition. It's a competitive thing. So then what happened after that is I came up with a day called Self-Love Day. Okay. Which I love. I own the trademark.
Nice.
So I own the trademark. I'll come back and talk about the business.
You just don't skate past that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, that's her business acumen. That's her business acumen kicking in, telling her this is something I create and I need to protect it. I need to protect it against anybody that might try to come and steal it. All right. So her trademarking it, regardless of its value, it's hers. It can't be taken away from her. And guess what? She can pass that trademark down to her daughters now, which creates generational wealth.
Wealth. Generational wealth.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to tell everyone out there, especially we're all in the creative space, definitely trademark your ideas, trademark your brand, trademark your name, trademark it, because when you're putting stuff out in social media, there's people who are watching, ready to steal the idea. And the way it works in trademarking, whoever trademarks it first owns it. It's just that's just how the system works. So you could have been working something for 20 years and talking about it, and somebody comes on your page and says, "Oh, that's a great idea." If they go and trademark it first and it gets passed, they actually have the ownership of that trademark and you don't. And now they can tell you can't use it. So understand the business of trademarking and owning your brand and owning your business. And you have to, this is the system of America. That's how it works. So you have to work within the system, right? So I knew Self-Love Day was going to be a big thing. So I said, I'm trademarking it.
Dope.
I'm trademarking it. I'm trademarking it. Because it's intellectual property now.
But also, let me just add to that. So Self-Love Day, for anybody listening, also is just the title. It's just the title. Let's be clear, right? If Danny has a logo that goes with the title, that's one thing. If the company that houses Self-Love Day is completely different than Self-Love Day because it's a component of the company, then that's completely different trademark. She has to trademark the name. She has to trademark the logo also. And then if she has a company that houses Self-Love Day, let's say like DanniBenson.com or whatever the company is, she has to trademark and protect that also. So it's not just protecting one thing and getting the coverage.
It's protecting different classes within that trademark.
You have to protect.
Class 3 is beauty. Class 16 is books. Right. Class 14 is like leather, good computer. Mm-hmm. So within the trademark, you got to protect your classes within that trademark. And they make it expensive because they want people to trademark.
Well, that and the fact that if you mess up the paperwork in DC, when you submit it to DC, you do not get a refund. They will just reject the trademark. You have to start all over. So anybody interested in trademarking, my personal recommendation to you as a businessman would be to get a trademark lawyer, right? Somebody that actually does trademarks on a regular basis, that knows exactly the process, what class to put your stuff in, and can do the paperwork for you. That way, it's the least likely that your application will get rejected and you have to pay again, start all over.
Yeah, because you will lose your money. And then make sure when you're trademarking, make sure you try to choose all the classes if it's more than one class. Because what happens is if after you trademark it, you get approved and there's another class you're interested in, they're going to make you do it all over again.
Well, yes and no. So here's the problem with that.
Okay.
If you hire a lawyer, so your initial trademark will carry one class. So whatever the class is, the primary class of what your trademark is in, let's say education, then education will be like 46. It'll carry education and or entertainment in the same class. Let's say we have a clothing line and now we want to add clothing to that class. Every class that they have to file for, they're going to charge you extra for. So if you don't, again, this is all economic based. You might not have the money. You might have just got enough money for the initial trademark. Then do what you can initially.
Yeah.
Protect it where you can, and do not hold off. Try to get the rest of the money and try to do everything at once. Do what you can first. That way it protects you generally right off the back, and you can always add on separate classes later down the line, which protects you even more because it shows you had the initial class. So if somebody tried to steal it, you can show that you already had the trademark, you were working, and somebody deliberately tried to maliciously take it from you, which will help you out also.
And also go to like the domain and purchase the domain of your name.
Yep, absolutely.
Because that matters, because you have to have like a footprint presence on online. It's basically your intellectual property, real estate on the computer and stuff. It's like you bought this real estate, you own this real estate, so you have to go and definitely get like a website. I go to like places like GoDaddy.
Yep.
I remember when I saw a commercial for GoDaddy, it was with that girl, Danni, whatever her name was. We didn't even know what GoDaddy was. Yeah. And that was like, and now GoDaddy is probably a multi-million-dollar because they hold the domains.
You got to go a lot higher than that.
You said what?
You said you got to go a lot higher than that. GoDaddy easily in the billions at this point. You know how many domains run through GoDaddy? Maybe multi-million back 20 years ago. Fucking GoDaddy now?
So that means they're quiet about it.
Shit. I think Jarrett looking it up, he's gonna get us the info because GoDaddy right now.
How much GoDaddy is worth.
$1 million is way too light because they do housing. You can buy the domain name from them and house your website with them and other services.
Current revenue $4.2 billion.
I told you that. It's impossible for them not to be in the billions at how many websites they house and how many domains they issue out. And remember, every year is an annual renewal fee. They got the fuck.
Yo, you know what? Because you know what it is?
GoDaddy.
They say you make money through subscribing.
Yeah.
Like if you can get something that has subscription
based, yeah.
It's like passive income.
Right. So with GoDaddy, when you sign up for GoDaddy, ladies and gentlemen, anybody that didn't sign up for GoDaddy, when you go to GoDaddy, they give you options. Each option comes with a discount. So let's say the subscription for the first year is $9. But if you sign up for 2 years, they give it to you for $7. If you sign up for 3 years, then each year they'll give it to you for $5, but you got to pay the $15 up front. That's how they do it, right? So you do what you can do, but GoDaddy's one of the biggest. They're not the only ones. There's a lot of other .coms out there that you can buy your domain name from. They're just one of the easiest and to navigate and most well-known at this point. Let's say that, right?
Yeah, because it's GoDaddy. Just go to GoDaddy, and when you have your idea, definitely go in there and see if it's available.
Yes.
And if it's not .com, you could use other like .net, IO, like you could use other things besides .com, because I think .com is hard to get these days, or it's expensive to get, because that's a common thing that people remember is .com.
Well, also, I mean, depending on your name, right? If you have a very kind of common name, you could expect it to might be taken, right? Because so many, the internet is so prevalent right now. It's hundreds of millions of websites. You have to get a little creative now. That's all. You know
what's crazy? I have my name. I have DanniBenson.com. And I also have I even have my girls' names, because long time ago when GoDaddy first came, I was like, oh, let me buy this name. Let me buy that name. And every so often they're asking me to sell. And I'm like, oh no, I'm keeping it for my daughters.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to sell their name. I'm keeping it. It was like, are you sure you don't want to sell? Because it's worth, like, one of my daughter's names is worth like $5,000.
Yeah, because somebody wants it.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, isn't that crazy? So that's good to have GoDaddy and just take names, because if somebody wants it, then they would have to pay you to get the name. So that's another side hustle business that you do with GoDaddy. Also,
it's a domain acquisition strategy. So a lot of agencies that we worked with would buy the domains and sell it to partners. So for instance, we used to work with like Chase and some other big brands, and they would want, let's say, like a home savings account, whatever domain that does this, and you own it. Now you set the price, right? And it's like real estate, guys. So it's very, very simple, easy process to do, but own the domains, you could get a lot of money. Now, it was a guy who owned the X domain, x.com. He sold that when Twitter wanted to change their name, made a fortune. And he owned the X social media account. Sold that to him too.
Yeah, I think that was the same thing with Truth Social. Like something happened with Truth Social when Trump was trying to get it, but someone else owned the name.
Yeah.
So if I own it, you're gonna have to pay. And if you want that name, if you have the money, people pay for it.
Absolutely.
People pay. So that's another way you make income.
I'll give you a lighter version.
What? What's the lighter version?
When Diddy came out with Dirty Money, he didn't own Dirty Money. Somebody else actually owned the copyright and stuff. It was already a group called Dirty Money, and Diddy had to pay that off to get Dirty Money, to create the group with Danny Kane members, the two Danny Kane members.
Yeah.
Dirty Money, Dawn, I think it was Dawn and somebody else. The name Dirty Money, somebody else owned it, the group name and all that. So he had to pay him off for that.
Well, shit, he's living a living testament. Dirty Money.
Dirty Money.
Somebody said he caught a FRICO charge instead of RICO. That was nuts. Shout out to whoever said that.
Yo,
so Danny,
like
I know we got a couple minutes left, Danny.
Okay, yeah. So then basically, Governor Cuomo, he was the then governor of New York State, proclaimed Self-Love Day for New York State because I worked so hard. So Self-Love Day has to do with mental health. I'm a mental health advocate. I'm a mental health coach, trainee, and basically I have a legislation right now in New York State to start mental health check-ins at the earliest of age, starting in first grade. So I'm working with an assemblyman and a New York State senator to get that approved. My goal is to have kids, because I talk to kids all over the country. That is like my, purpose. And they're all telling me it's twofold. Our parents don't want the therapy, but we want the therapy.
Okay.
Because what happens, especially in our Black communities, it started from, slavery times and everything like that. We don't have a trust for doctors, right? So that, and sometimes our household holds secrets that we don't want the outside world to know.
Okay.
But kids these days are saying that they really need it. They want someone to talk to. They want someone supportive. So what I want to do, I want to destigmatize going to therapy. Just like we destigmatize glasses. Because I remember back in the day, I was called 4 eyes. I used to have braces. I used to be called track mouth. But now these days, these kids think it's cool to have braces. Kids think it's cool to have glasses. So what I'm doing right now is I want to make it cool for kids to want to go to therapy. So how it works is all of our babies, when they're born, especially in America, they know every doctor except the therapist. And the therapist is the doctor that deals with your feelings. And you don't go to therapy only because you're crazy, because that was like the old generation, like felt like, oh, you only go there, you're crazy. No, you go to therapy because you want to unpack what's going on in your life currently.
Message.
That's it. So what do we do? I want to save the generations to come. Okay. That's what I want to do. If we all go to therapy, because you know what it is? When I was going through my divorce, I put my kids in therapy. Okay. They weren't that's how it all came about for me, because I knew this was going to be a trauma, and I figured if I was in pain, they're in pain, but they didn't have the words yet because they didn't have the experience of life yet. So I knew eventually when they became teenagers, they were going to go back and say, oh my God, I wanted them to make right choices right away. So I have this saying that I tell parents, deal with childhood traumas in real time. That's what therapy is about. Not, oh, go to your room. I don't care. I don't want to hear what you got to say, because all that happens is all that stuff is trumped up inside of you. And right now, I'm with seeing so much stuff that's going on in our communities and stuff, we have bent up traumas that needs to be resolved.
Absolutely.
Amen.
we do. And what I want to do is I want to start putting us on equal playing field of dealing with our traumas in real time.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the audio listeners, I'm holding up my hands and my thumbs out, almost like the na face, but like this, meaning equal opportunity. I'm going to coin it because Danny's been doing it too much this episode. So as soon as I get off this show, I will coin this hand movement because Danny might try to steal it. I end up with my logo for Love Day. I'm like, I created that goddamn logo.
Like this. No, that's
not. PC.
I get it, because you're saying equal, 50-50. That's your thing. That's your thing. So I get it. That means I see you. I know. I'm just messing.
Yeah.
No.
I love the idea. I think.
No, okay. I gotta tell you why I'm doing this idea. I speak to a lot of, especially young Black boys. It's an inclusive thing. It's for all children, right?
Mhm.
But a lot of men that I talk to specifically say, Black men, because they want to actually speak when this bill is coming on the floor, that they wish that they went to therapy at the earliest of age, because they would have made different choices. Because sometimes the choices they made, they didn't understand what was going on. Like if they go and, for instance, kill someone, steal someone, rob someone, when you're 14 years old, you don't know what the rest of your life is, because you only see what today is, right? Now you go do something and someone's saying the rest of your life, you don't know what the hell is your rest of your life until you go in jail and you're like, oh my God, this is my whole entire life.
Yeah.
Right? So they said that if they had a place where they could unpack the traumas that they were going through, in the community, in their home, then they would have made different choices in life. Right? So I want the next generation coming up to start making different choices, better choices. Absolutely. I don't want you set up for the prison system, because it's privatized now. So how you get it to make money, you got to have people coming in.
Been privatized.
No.
Been and I want us to win. I want us to win. And what's holding us down sometimes is our traumas.
Mindset.
Yeah, because that's within. Think about this. The reason I put my kids in therapy was I wanted to make better choices. I didn't want them to have daddy issues.
Yeah.
Daddy doesn't live here no more. You know what I mean? I didn't want them to go looking for a man for love. Right? I wanted them to know, like, this is not your fault early on, so they could live a good life. But when I see men with traumas, especially men, because I'm seeing it on TV, I just saw the guy back in the day. They used to go pss, 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 pss. When a guy wanted to kick it to you, they used to catcall you, right? And back in the day, we could say no to a guy and he'd be cool with it. Mm-hmm. But think about it. Look at the twins that just died, because his self-esteem was hurt. So the bodega guy closed the door to protect the babies, to protect the 19-year-old twins. And as soon as he opened the door, the guy comes with a knife and stabs her just because she didn't say yes to the advances. That is not making an excuse for the boy, but that is trauma. Because what makes you want to go kill someone because they didn't say yes to your advances?
Yeah.
Now he's gonna go. Now there's someone that was died. But
even not say kill. Why would you even want to harm somebody in general? Let's just say, why would you even think about harming somebody that just said no? Because it's their option to say no. If somebody advanced on you and you said no, would you want the same thing happening to you? That's it. That's it. And the answer would be no. He would not want the same reaction from a female or a male to him if he turned down somebody's advances. So it's not even about killing. It's what gives you the right to harm somebody because they said no.
And even further than that, right? What kind of community do we have where a motherfucker go to a store and kill the twin just for that, right? We allowing that shit on our block? Yep. That's what we doing?
Yeah.
Is that what we doing? We just allowing that shit? That shit is bullshit.
Because back in the day, that wouldn't fly. Back in the day, that would not fly.
It's not flying today for real, man. It's not flying today. Today, there's a lot of people that outrage, a lot of real ones, a lot of street dudes. We not letting that shit fly, man. But we gotta stand on something. We gotta stand on business. We not letting motherfuckers hurt our own. We not hurting our own.
But back in the day, there was rules to it. I feel like there's no rules anymore. It's anything goes.
You do what you can. It's who's around. Who's around? Who's willing to do what?
Come on, Kat. What do you think?
No, all I'm saying, again, my message never changes. People evolve. Society evolves. Life is about evolution, right? Darwin's theory of evolution is simple. Either you evolve or you die. That is it. That is it, right? So as society changes, in general, the people are changing. And that's it. So the way that we deal with people and the people that are now in the spaces that other people were, they have to change and they have to adapt to the new system. That's all it is. That's all I'm saying, right? There was atrocities before us. How do we adapt to it? There was atrocities during us. How do we adapt to it? There's going to be atrocities after us. People just have to adapt and come up with creative ways to combat it and then find a way to just try to minimize.
But the missing link is our traumas. We have traumas. So
trauma's never gonna go away. I'm just telling you, I understand what you're doing is good. I'm backing you, I'm with you, but just understand you cannot have good without bad. Because there cannot be a perfect relationship. Bottom line. There can never be a perfect relationship because you as yourself as a human being are not perfect. Then how can you create something perfect? You are emotional. You said it. You feel a certain sort of way about your upbringing. You feel a certain sort. That's never going to change. Somebody's always going to have a different upbringing. Somebody's always going to be emotional. Somebody's always going to feel. You're born with emotions. So when you understand that, just understand that it's always going to be trauma. It's just how do we deal with it? It's always going to be negatives to go with the positive. It's just how we deal with it as a society as a whole. That's it. It's dealing.
But what are we telling to? You know where I realized like we have a lot of women empowerment stuff, especially for Black women, and I noticed that I don't see it for Black men.
Okay.
It's not many.
So that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that you don't see it, right? So whenever you don't see anything or you don't experience something, we consider that a problem, right? Mm-hmm. And as an entrepreneur or a person for the community, but not
okay. Maybe I'm using the wrong word. I don't see the promotion of it.
Okay, so it's the same thing. But what I'm saying,
meaning like women empowerment this whole month, like it's like women this, women that, women this, women that. Okay. It's like, Black History Month. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're doing this. We're doing that. But when it comes to men empowerment, I don't see the promotion of it.
Yeah. How could you not see it? You're on the promotion of it right now. It's right in front of your face. You got 2 Black men who are empowered to give you a platform. We are empowered.
No, meaning I see what you're doing, but I mean collectively.
But hear what I'm saying. Watch this. We're not the only ones. Earn Your Leisure is an empowerment platform. There's a lot of people out there doing it. Now, is it to the forefront of what it should be? No. That's because we don't own the mainstream media. This is the conversation we're going to have next month at LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. The importance of ownership of the media, of not only your IP, but the media to get the message out to the masses. But there are people out there fighting the good fight. But the only way that we bring it to the masses is by continually to fight the good fight, continually to progress so that we can all put ourselves into better situations with more coverage, and we do it slowly. It's not going to happen overnight, right? It's not going to happen overnight, but eventually you see change by the more people that carry the same message. That's it. That's the best that you can do. It's the best that you can do.
No, you're right. And you know why? I'm proud of you guys. You are men of empowerment. You are bringing the message to especially the boys who are watching, the men who are watching. They need to see more positive men like you guys. They need to feel that they're seen, and you guys represent that very well. Because I did this interview, I was like, oh my God, like, but you know what it is? You guys kept it real. And I learned so much from this interview.
Us too.
And this is why conversation matters. This is why conversation matters, because it becomes a learning, becomes a learning platform. Absolutely. Because we all come from different areas. We all have our different life experiences, and we think conversation is how we bind together.
Right.
Exactly.
And how we learn together.
Danny, it's your openness to listen. If you're not open into listening because you felt like you have a certain level of success or you've achieved a certain amount of life, then you will never learn anything else in your life. If we carry the same attitude and say, well, this is our platform and blah, 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 then we will never learn anything. We have to be open to listening to each other and learning from each other. We learn something new every single day, but it's only if you're willing and open to the learning factor, right? So that's what we need to do. Once again, have open and honest conversations. Try it. Again, we're imperfect. Try to separate the emotions from the valid point of what the point is. Don't chase the carrot, because the carrot is the shiny, it's the trick, it's the magic trick. Look at me here, but don't watch what I'm doing back here. That's how America is tricking us right now. They got you paying attention to the shiny shit so much that you're not paying attention to what they're doing behind you. So by us having these conversations, again, we had a dope conversation. We expressed our feelings, we expressed our emotions, and guess what? We weren't disrespectful to each other in no way, shape, form, or fashion. We still support each other. We still have a unified message. We have different points in thinking about it, but if you listen to what we both said, we still have a unified message to push forward, and that's what this platform is about, right? It's not clickbait, it's not scandal, it's about promoting you as a Black queen, as a family woman, as a businesswoman, right? And as a friend, and then showing the world that, look, you can be all of these things and still have trauma and still be successful because you learn how to work through it. That is your message. We're not perfect. I've been through some shit, but guess what? I'm not where I want to be, but I'm working towards it. And as long as I keep working towards it, then I will get to where I want to be eventually. That's everybody's story. Technically, Jarrett, we ain't where we want to be. We got fucking trauma, but we working. We show up.
You know
what? We can.
You gotta keep pushing through. That's what I learned through my whole experience from this point on. You gotta keep pushing. You gotta keep pushing through. You know, there's days that you can feel bad for yourself, but you gotta get up and you gotta still keep pushing through.
We call it fighting the good fight. That's what we do. Fight the good fight.
Yeah, and it's always gonna be a fight. I just want people to know, like, it's not gonna come easy. It's not gonna come easy, but you gotta still push through. You gotta still push through.
So I know the people learned a lot, Danny. I'm gonna be honest, this was
I learned a lot from you.
No, I'm saying that the audience is gonna learn a lot from this because you come with a very powerful message. I think you have a very unique way of attacking it, and I think that you have a niche because I haven't heard of anybody trying to do what you're doing at the level that you're doing it, which means your road is gonna be paved a little harder because it's a little bit more rough because you might be the first one doing it in your lane. So they don't know what to expect from you. They don't know what this program is like. So you're gonna be a lot more eyes are going to be on you and your program to succeed and fail because it's going to now become the staple of what others will follow to do. So if you're successful, you become the blueprint. If you fail, you still become the blueprint of what was tried and what didn't actually work out. So you have a very tough fight ahead of you, but I will tell you this: you have brothers that are on your side now. We with you now coming on the show, we open up our network to you. You have now 100 other people. We are not gatekeepers. We are offering to you our network. If you've ever seen anybody on the show that you might want to talk to or pick their brains or maybe get with because your programs or your ideals align, you let us know and we will make that introduction and then we step away. We don't gatekeep. We don't monitor. You're an adult. You know how to speak for yourself. We will make the introduction. A, this is B. B, this is A. And we did our job. And what you make of it is yours. We do it for free. We don't ask any money. We don't expect anything in return because this is what we do. We pay it forward. You understand what I'm saying?
Yo, I mean, you know what? I believe in God. I'm spiritual and he makes no mistakes. That's why I said I can't regret anything because I would have never met you guys, right? Mm-hmm. And for you to open the floodgates for me and accept me, I just want to say, thank you so much because I know that you guys are part of the plan, meaning that before we were all born and you were a sperm and whatever, and I was an egg, God already wrote all of this out, including more than a title. More than the title is going to
press it.
Hold on. I know you pardon, Danny. I know you pardon, but calling us sperm.
I will not be sperm. More than that. More than that.
Danny, you got to get a.
Hey, yo.
The Razor Ramon.
Hey, yo. And Danny, we appreciate you, but I will not be sperm.
That's very Diddy-ish.
That's how you know.
Hey, category is sperm, Danny. I refuse. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
But what I'm saying is, thank you so much. You're crazy.
I love my job.
You know what? You guys are good at it. I see big things. Things. You guys are so good at this, and your blessings are coming. And I'll be that chick you know what? I'm singing along for the ride because I know where they're going. I know where they're going. You're not along
for the ride. We are partnering up. There is no ride-alongs here. We are partnering up, right?
Because
yes, you said,
When you have a powerhouse here and a powerhouse here and resources here and resources here, and we come together as a community, we form Voltron. And look, it ain't many of us, but if enough of us get the ball rolling, then eventually we'll pick up another one and pick up another one. And generationally, this thing will start to change. Not overnight. And be clear, we understand that we might be the sacrificial generation. Me and Jarrett already made that distinction. There's nobody in front of us that's at our level or has been at our level to even teach us how to get to the next level. So we understand we might be it might not change, might not come in our time. But if we do it right, and we build the foundation right, then when his son, who's now 6 years old, and his oldest, who's 15, and my oldest is 15, and my son is 20, by the time they get to our age, then maybe they'll live in something different. And when they start to, have families, that's when the change will truly be visible. You understand? That's what we do. When your daughter,
and it's called generational wealth.
Absolutely, and that's what we're doing here. So listen, let the people know where they can find you, because I guarantee you people are going to want to reach out to you about the I'm Proud of You Sis movement, about the Self-Love Day. Let them know where they can find you, and if they want to get in contact with you, where they can reach you at.
Well, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. I am Danni Benson, or at Danni_Benson. I'm Proud of You Sis is I'm without the I am. It's I'm Proud of You Sis. You can find me there. You could contact me through email. It's Danni@I'mProudOfYouSis.com. Anyone interested in coming on my show, I'm Proud of You Sis, I could give you flowers. Please DM me, because I'm looking for people just to come on and just to give them their flowers and tell them thank you for being you. And the guys aren't telling you this, but they will be on a show coming in April called it's like I'm Proud of You Bro series.
I like that.
Basically giving them their cigars for their greatness. So it's like touche. It's like they gave me a platform, and I definitely want to give them a platform. And so June is also it's like Father's Day month.
Okay.
So I definitely want you guys to come back also in June, just to talk to the men out there and let them know what it takes to be a good father.
We love it.
And even what Jarrett was saying, how do you navigate? You don't want to be with her, and making her understand that without it not being like, it's not that I don't love you. I just don't see that, we fit, but I still want us to be together in a point of taking care of our children, but just not romantically together.
And just understand, Danny, you have a platform. We have a platform. This is the first time we're having conversations on this platform. It won't be the last, because we don't believe in transactional interactions. We believe in building relationships. So you'll be back on the show, and we'll do walkthroughs with you. And this will not, this will not be the last time you're on the show. It's just the first time that you're on the show.
Yeah, first time.
That's how we.
They killed me. They killed me, because I was like, Jesus, I'm like,
yeah, you did good. You did good.
Did great.
Listen, I got to put this out there. I know she gave an invite to DM her. I know she a beautiful woman. Guys, don't play yourself. No, don't be DM doing all that other shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's business.
You know what I'm saying? Business only, right? Don't be trying to hide all that. She a businesswoman. Remember what we tell you, right? Any people that we bring to you on this show, please treat them with respect. Please treat them as consummate professionals, and give them respect and respect their time that they deserve, right? If you want to approach her on something business-minded, you have an idea, absolutely shoot your shot. But remember, right, the only way that we can keep doing this is that you do it properly, because it only takes one person to ruin this thing and not approach somebody correctly, and then that person becomes jaded and said, "Now I will not longer accept any, people coming from a certain thing." You'll ruin it for everybody else. So please, do us a favor. Treat this woman with respect, as we ask you to do all of our guests that come on this show. And so we can continue to bring you this information and continue to help the culture evolve.
And one more thing I want to say is my life experience is my life experience. So I'm in a no judgment zone. I'm just basing everything that is through my life experience. I am proud of each and every person out there that is pushing the culture forward. I am proud of every person out there that is doing their best to survive, because a lot of us, we are in survival mode, and we all get it. What I want to say is, I know it's corny for me to say don't give up, but go after it. Go after it. Find your people, find your tribe, Go out there and network. Yes, we have a disadvantage sometimes because we don't have the money. You know, you go to the banks, you don't get the loans and all this other stuff because, you know, money is not on our side when it comes to investment because it's harder for them to invest in us and invest in other races. But if you have an idea, push it through. You know, email people as much as you can. Don't give up. That's what I'm gonna say. Don't give up, because that's how we were able to push through as a family. We didn't care about the stereotypes. We didn't care about the systematic racism. We just found ways to get around it. Right? Get around it.
The pivot.
Just and don't make your circumstances of where you are born stop you from where you're supposed to be.
You get the baby for that. You get the baby for that.
I just want people to understand, like, your beginnings doesn't mean that those are your ends.
Just gonna let you. It goes with it. Don't give up. You could also bet on yourself. You can also buy a shirt. You could buy a hat. You could buy a beanie, a mug. You could buy a course. You can buy all of that stuff, and then get more information and more content. Because guess what? We do it for y'all, and we may not be back unless you support. That's on the real.
What we got coming up for the rest of the week, bro?
Tomorrow we got Lola Savage coming through. Shout out to Lola Savage.
Shout
out.
Lola. She's super dope, man. Looking forward to that episode Thursday. We got Judy Jackson. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. You already know,
it's
man.
Women's History Month. Let's go.
That's it. Judy Jackson, DEI at WPP, one of the largest agencies in the world, coming through, showing us how she makes the workplace more equitable for all employees, especially the Black community, what she does, what resources she provides. So it's gonna be really dope. And on Friday, we got Mama Loves. We got our moms. How can we support the queens? Our queens. Absolutely. Mama's coming on the show.
I'm putting my mama on camera, man.
Both your mamas are coming.
Both mamas.
And guess what, Danny? Both our mamas named Renee.
Facts.
What?
They're from the same neighborhood. They both named Renee. They all know each other. They all hang out. They all cousins.
So you know what? They're gonna have to put like their last names or the last middle initial, because you're gonna be saying Renee and no one's gonna know what Renee you're talking about.
I'm glad she said that. We got to do Mama Jarrett.
Yeah, Mama Jarrett.
Like a Mama Jarrett and
call her Renee.
Mama Chad.
Call her Renee. Smack the shit out of me. Mama.
You right about that. You're right about that.
Don't have your father on the show.
It's mom for life. It's mom for life. You can't even call your mom by your first name.
No.
Listen, be clear. Be clear. I'm 44 years old. I will be 45 years old. I still call my mother mommy. I've never called my mother by her first name.
Never will.
My mother is mommy. When I call, she be like, "Hey, son." I'm like, "Hey, mommy."
We're gonna be like introducing the principal for this, mommy.
Mommy.
I ain't calling her name. Y'all read this shit.
Right. When I used to go to my mother's job, she was a director at a homeless women's shelter and family shelter and all that. But Miss Fernandez, mommy, come here. Mommy. They be like, "That's your mother?" I'm like, "Yes, that's my mother. I'm calling her mommy, clearly." You know what I mean? She ain't a sugar mama.
Yo, shout out to all the moms out there. I know how hard your job is, but shout out to your dads too. You know, we like Chad said.
The ones doing things.
Balance. So I have to shout out I gotta shout out the parents who are making their kids be better than what they were.
Absolutely. And I do want to shout out your ex-husband too. I wanted to say, because I love both you guys. We got love for both you guys, like straight up and down. You guys come on, y'all support. Y'all didn't know us from anything. Y'all part of our family. Y'all part of our community. Shout out to him. Shout out to you. Shout out to the family. We love what you both are doing, and keep on striving. Keep on being an example, straight up and down.
I want to shout out London.
Oh,
I want to shout out London.
You guys say
we bonded.
Too.
We bonded.
Can you share the story? Can you share the story?
So, long story short, guys, I actually met Danny. She's one of our first guests that we actually met in person before she came on the show. Her ex-husband is William Benson, and we actually had him on the show, and he actually was honored with the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, which we had him on the show before we met him in person.
I get a horn.
And he extended an invite to us. And like I said, if we can't support each other, then we can't ask anybody else for help. So we showed up and went to the event. And it was a dope event, and we were able to help him memorialize that and commemorate that. And then after the event, we went down to a posh posh Soho
House.
Hotel. Yeah, posh Soho Hotel and celebrated down there. And she has twin daughters, and one of them name is London. And London is just a spirit. That's the best way I could. She's such a spirit. And we bonded and we found a commonality. And I seen London
gymnastics.
I seen she was in distress. And this is a story that, you know, it's just amazing that, you know, her daughter was upset that not that she couldn't solve a Rubik's Cube, because most adults can't solve a Rubik's Cube. It takes a special mind to solve such a simple game. It is what it is. She wasn't upset that she couldn't solve this thing. She could solve it. That was easy. She was upset that she couldn't solve it in like 42 seconds and break one of the records on that she's seen somebody else do it in like 42 seconds. So she tried and it made her upset. Not that she couldn't do it, just that she wasn't able to do it in 42 goddamn seconds. I mean, are you kidding me? So she was upset, and we found a commonality, and she wanted to do something else to make herself feel better. And I found out she was in gymnastics, and I told her, you're not going to do a flip with a ball gown on inside of a crowded, posh Soho hotel. And her mother's like, I support her. I have to let her do it. If not, it's going to break her. Let her do it. So once again, we're talking about education, self-awareness. This little girl was so smart enough, and she's 10, remember, so we can't have excuses. This little girl is 10. She pulled her father to her left and said, I want you to cover me so when I flip, I have on a gown. I won't expose myself to the other patrons. 10 years old, and pulled him and adjusted him in a way that he covered her to the left, had her mom to the right, and this little girl did the flip. But before she did the flip, I let her know that I was also an all-state gymnast, and even though I'm 44, I still got it.
You did the flip.
You never lose it. So I said, if you do it, then I will support you. And as a grown-ass man in a goddamn blazer and some slacks and some shoes, I will do it too. Long story short, she did the backflip. I kindly pushed her ass out the way, and then I did the backflip, and then we hugged and we ate ice cream and popped some Dawn P. And I became actually a part of her village at that moment. And
yes, she did.
I truly believe that I instilled in her the trust that a man that she just met can give her his word and honor it. So it was my.
But you know what helped too? Like we were just talking about, it was the co-parenting aspect of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She no longer kind of has that trauma because she sees, even though her parents are not together, we could still be in the same room and support her and support each other. So we left the toxicity outside.
Absolutely.
Where we don't want to affect our children. Amazing. So they can just be happy and just be light and not feel like, okay, should I just talk to daddy or should I just talk to mommy or take sides? Like us as a community, we're gonna have to start, regardless of us not working out with our partners. And I know sometimes it's hard, especially for women, because I'm a woman, because you know, this man broke your heart, you love this man or whatever it is. We're gonna have to start putting our children first in a way that's still their father.
That's it.
Love it.
It's still their father. You know, and you know what? And you gotta take accountability because I chose that father.
That's it. And now we on the same page. See, accountability. Long as everybody take accountability, we good. Listen, this has been another amazing episode of More Than a Title.
Thank you guys for having me.
Facts. But no, we got 7 hours with y'all collectively. got the most. I love that.
I'm about to say, listen, we are at 3 hours and 25 minutes, and only.
You know what? I was trying to beat this time, by the way, but I know.
Listen, I know you was. I know you was.
No, because I'm competitive.
Here's the
I'm
thing.
competitive. I'm competitive. Because he's like 4 hours and 2
minutes and 58 seconds.
I was trying to do 4. I wanted to be like the longest ever female Women's History Month.
You are the longest female. You are the longest female.
Right. No, you've beat that. You are the longest female, period. So you've accomplished that.
But you know what? It's not equal.
Listen, and ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. We're actually cutting this short a little bit because we actually have an event to go to support another Black and brown partner of ours, right? Because it takes a community.
Happy birthday, brother. We coming through.
and we pulling up on him for his birthday again, right? You can't ask somebody to do something for you if you're not willing to return the favor when they ask you to do something for them. And support doesn't always cost money. It just takes time sometimes, right?
Or it's just being there, showing up.
Showing up, right? So we're going to
up.
show up. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of More Than the Title. Danni Benson, we appreciate you coming on the show. We appreciate you just having a great time. We hope you had a great time on our show.
I had a wonderful time. And
when you go to them other podcasts and they ain't got memes and they ain't got hand gestures and shit, you let them know. Shit, they like More Than the Title. I gotta step y'all game up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And with that being said, big bro, you got anything else for us?
No, we out of here on that. We love y'all, man. We love you, sis. We out of here.
What you know about me? Seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? I done it all, just one.